Well, we should be live now. Just going to double check. Yep, it's going. And welcome to episode, I think, 11 or 12. One of those numbers of the Grey Lanterns IKRPG.
Or another number, possibly.
Thank you for joining us this evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I am your GM, Tom, or known as Luck God online, only in the spiciest circles of the internet. I'm currently filibustering because two of the players aren't actually fully in the room yet, but you know, if people will listen, I will talk. That's just how we do.
Talking is good.
Well, depends. Sometimes talking is very bad. Sometimes some people should stop doing it. But that's a story for another time. So, just for a quick recap for people that weren't here last time. Last week on the Grey Lanterns, the party made their way back from the woods. They did some investigations. I think you went to the graveyards last week, didn't you? Or am I having seizures and that was the week before? I honestly can't remember.
No, it was the week before that we came back from.
Right, okay. But I know that you guys... Oh, you did a bounty. That was what you did at the beginning. You did a bounty and you were investigating and trying to find a guy that was burglarizing houses from Bellicose Island.
Not the
and
word.
You were trying to find a guy that was burglarizing houses from Bellicose Island. And you managed to catch him without any bloodshed. It was very impressive.
Despite setting up the perfect, situation for there to be quite a lot of bloodshed, if there needed to be.
Yeah. You guys had your preparations down. Very impressive to see. And then after that, you went to check on the young lad that you left in the care of Amora and Chapel. He seemed to be recovering. He went to go tell his grandmother, his only living relative, that he was recovering, to find a trail of blood. Descending into the depths below, you found a sewer network with many, many rats. Fought the rats. Suddenly the rats started to become stronger and you saw a glow of runes as magic was being cast, and you thought you could see a silhouette of a human in the darkness. You then fought a dishevelled, ragged, dirty-looking man, killed him dead, and then looted his corpse for a gnarled stick, 5 stones, and 3 pieces of string.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And just so anyone watching knows, Colin, the player that plays Adele, has been obsessing over these stones and string and messaging me on a basis which could nearly be harassment. I joke.
I see how it is.
I joke. But also help. If I had a cam on, you'd see me blinking lots. No. It's all good. So, you guys are nearly all exclusively covered in some form of sewage to various levels. Only 2 of you are properly ripe, and that is Myrta and Adele, who went into the sewage to reach and rummage for the dead guy. Most other people...
Not quite true. Adele retrieved the dead grandma. Thank you very much.
And the stick. Because he went chasing into the sewage after a stick.
He did. He was desperate for that stick. He's got some thirst for a walking stick.
Myrta was entirely going to pull him in if he didn't fucking go in anyway.
Yeah. And the other character that managed to avoid going in the sewage the entire combat, but then ended up getting a little bit smelly right at the end was Constantine, who at one point, because he had no targets in melee with him but needed to shoot and had no other opportunities, he dropped his sword to draw a pistol and fire, and unfortunately the sword fell in the sewage, so he had to fish it out.
He was not happy about that.
I'm sure he was not. His lovely Winter Guard officer's uniform is all covered in unmentionable things.
Detritus.
Oh, it's beyond detritus, my friend. It's beyond detritus. We have entered into truly stinky levels of player characters. And it was also brought up by players in the group chat afterwards. Only Constantine owns spare pairs of clothes. So the party is in dire need of a wash. Oh, and just GM telling you, just because I'm nice, I'm telling you beforehand, everybody will be getting negative modifiers on any social roles with non-sewage covered people.
Well, that's why we're going to very politely ask the Morrowans to help us out with that.
Oh dear. Is anyone doing any hobby stuff tonight while we're gaming?
I mean, I'm writing Fiora 4 list, but that's basically what
Fair enough. I'm doing clean-up and assembly of Flubbin, Four Horsey-Mans and Helga 2. Because they arrived today. And I'm very pleased. Although the Four Horsey-Mans looks like it's going to be a right pain in the arse to assemble.
All the Gremlin swarms are a pain in the arse to assemble. That's not new.
I don't know, the ones made from the marching bands look pretty easy.
Oh no, they're super cool.
But Travis will tell you that they're not legal.
You shove it up his ass.
Seriously, Travis like jumps on that every single time I see somebody post he's like, it's not legal.
Well, talking about Fiora 4 list, his is very weird if anyone else looked at it.
What Travis is?
Yeah. Fiora 4 Infernals list with only 3 jacks.
Oh.
I thought most Fiora 4 Infernals lists only had a couple of jacks.
I'm running 4 heavies and 2 lights.
Now you see, to me that sounds way too heavy. Anyway, we're getting slightly off topic from the roleplay here.
Yes. Is Colin here? Yeah.
Yes, I have been talking to you.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Remember things?
Yes.
So,
Be able to tell people's voices.
with us tonight, we have Constantine.
Hello.
We have Adele.
Greetings.
We have Murta.
Hey up.
And we have Butchwell Bones. Right, so did you, Birchwell, did you hear the recap of what happened last week?
Yes, briefly.
Cool. So GM mode off. So basically they fought a rat warlock. So a warlock that could control rats, but he wasn't fully refined in the warlock capabilities because he hadn't been taught, so he didn't have a lot of the warlock rules. So there's that, and it was one of the first encounters that the players all got hurt.
Yeah.
Every single player got hurt.
Murta almost died.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was pretty real. Right, so you guys find yourselves, Riker, sorry, Birchwell excluded because he wasn't there. He can join us when appropriate. Find ourselves still in the sewers. So, I bring you to the sewers. through the gift of magic. And because he won't be able to see, I'm going to drop Birchwell's character in just so he can see what happened. There you go, Birchwell. Can you see now? So yeah, this is the end of the sewers. They started over here, travelled all through, killed a ton of rats, like many rats, and ended up fighting the warlock over there.
At one point, I decided that instead of using my swords to stab the rats, I was going to start kicking them.
Yeah, he managed to kill a rat,
Stop.
but it took a few kicks.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that everybody is here, so Birchwell, I added your character just so you can see what's going on, but your character, I'm going to say, is up with you up somewhere, and you can join in when you're up on the street. Okay. So, was there anything anyone else wanted to do finally before leaving the sewers?
I wanted to investigate down that one alley thing that we didn't go down.
Okay, feel free to move your characters. You are in narrative time, so the normal rules of moving within dynamic lighting apply. I'm just going to give you your torch back, okay?
Yeah.
There you go. You should have your torch back now. You don't need to move it with
Without
you.
actually having...
Yeah, you don't need.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Cool.
I'm trying to make it easier for you, bro.
Absolutely. It's great. Thanks, man. Thanks, my buddy.
So, normal rules for advancing within dynamic lighting. I don't know if you remember them, Riker, but basically, if you make a run, you have to move your token half of your speed before seeing what you would see as you run, and then you can move it the rest of your speed. So, if you ran round a corner, you have to move, say your speed's 6, you have to move the full 6, then you get to see what you saw, and then you can move the other 6. If you're charging and your speed's 6, you move 4 or 5 squares, and then, because basically I'm giving you the kind of the good graces of your character would go, suddenly there's more things around that corner than I expected. So you can stop, essentially. But if you do try and stop mid-charge, you have to make an agility roll. Target number 12, or was it 10? I think it was 10. If you make the agility roll, you manage to stop your charge in time and continue, and you can use the remaining movement to back away if you want. If you fail, you continue on, and you're not allowed to stop. But you can still make your charge attack roll. So, Murto, it looks like you might have found a ladder. No?
I leave.
What was that?
I said, Murta, you might have found a ladder there? I don't think he's here.
Just as an FYI, Discord has been giving me grief all morning, so
Shit.
I think it might be playing
sorry.
up.
I had myself muted because I'd been drinking.
Alright, so you found a ladder, so...
Yep, I went, and we like ladders. I shout back to the rest of the group that there is a ladder. I am just going to check the other side just before we... Nope, but, ooh, there's also a little passage.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I assume it's just a bit of wall.
What? 1 second, let me light... stop moving. I'm trying to capture you to light over you. No, it is a passageway.
Is there a door?
Yes.
Can I open the door?
Ooh.
Open the door.
Oh. Oh. Would you stop?
Stop moving.
No, it's not you. It's connected to of the... Don't worry about it. Oh, for fuck's sakes. It's being finicky with me for some reason, and I don't know why.
No worries. Is it just a passageway through to the starting room?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Cool.
It's where you know right at the beginning when Adele was saying, "Oh, a rat appeared out of nowhere." It didn't. It came out of this tunnel.
Yeah, I noticed, but tried not to metagame. But I found a tunnel now.
The tunnel is
Tunnels are cool.
visually drawn on the map, so I made a tunnel.
Yep. Anyway, coming back out now.
I have completely screwed up this map now. I've dragged.
I'm stuck.
Yeah,
I'm stuck.
I've dragged the walls in awkward places, and I can't be bothered to move them anymore.
Yeah. So I found a tunnel and a ladder. Anyone want to go up this other ladder, or do we just want to go back and climb up through the grate into the weird house?
Let's go up the ladder. Why not?
Are you serious? We have a dead grandmother, which I am holding, unless you took her off me again. I am covered in filth. Filth of I don't know how many humanoids and goodness knows how many rats, and you want to go exploring. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with all of you?
I'll turn around and go, well, why don't you take her back and I'll go up the ladder?
Oh, yes, that's going to be fantastic, isn't it? I'll show up to the child carrying his dead, half-eaten grandmother by myself when he doesn't know me. Yeah, that's a great one, Mercer.
I was saying you lot and I'll go by myself. Or, I can take...
Balasar says, if you're going to grouse about it this much, I'll carry the woman.
Oh, no, I have no problem with that. I have a problem with the kids seeing me and screaming. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before. Well, maybe not quite like this.
Alrighty. So, Murta goes up the ladder.
I think we need to check up the ladder anyway.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't want to, leave something worse, would we?
Yeah. I'm going to sneak up the ladder because I am cautious.
Because skill rolls.
Yeah. Sneak in.
Alrighty, so your sneak was a total of 12. So getting to the top of the ladder, you notice a sheet of a thin sheet of wood across the top of the ladder tunnel entrance.
A thin sheet of wood, eh?
Yes. It moves to your touch.
I push it gently open.
Okay. So you can now see what looks very distinctly like a hovel.
Oh, another one. What is it with this city and building fucking houses over sewer grates?
Out of character, where did you think the old man lived? In the sewer?
Yes, entirely. Completely out of character. Yes, I did.
Okay, then.
I mean, he did live in the sewer. Until somebody killed him.
So...
He was just trying to live his...
Anything special about this hovel, or is it just
have you popped up? Because I said... okay. So, no, it's pretty similar to the one that Sam and his grandmother lived in. There is bloodstains in this one also.
I'll climb back into the tunnel, kind of jog back over to them, as I assume they are actually starting to make a move towards Sam's home.
Mm-hmm. One would hope.
And as I'll jog up to him and go, it's another hovel with bloodstains. Do we want to go and check it out, or...?
I think if there's nothing alive up there, let's lay this woman to rest.
Alrighty. So...
You're the boss. Quick question, Tom.
Yes.
Have we started with full feat points again? No, we've finished after a combat, so no rest. Yes.
Yeah, when you rest, you gain them back.
And I am also assuming the same for health.
Yep. You haven't taken a rest, so you haven't healed yet.
Cool.
Balasar, I know, is missing some health. I assume you are, because you asked.
I'm missing a lot. Remember,
well,
I almost died.
You might not heal all of it in one rest, then.
Yeah, I know. I know. It is actually a worry.
Right, okay. So, continuing onward, you reach the original slope and ladder apparatus that got you down here in the first place. Everyone climbing out?
Yeah.
Yes. Adele is going to be very cautious since he's holding a...
Strength check for Adele, please.
Alright.
And I will kind of look at Balazar and go, I'll let you go first this time, big man.
He just nods, hefts his axe, and starts climbing up the slope. Wow, that's a really good strength roll. So Adele hefts the old lady's body over his shoulder, and with a determined look on his face, walks up the slope, carrying her alone, no help. So you guys are all upstairs now.
Yeah.
And I assume that you just want to go straight to the Moran temple?
I'm going to say, let's not carry a half-eaten body through the streets.
Okay.
Because even I get that that's a bit weird.
Should we
Do
leave?
you have a sheet?
Leave the body here with Balasar and Justin.
Yep.
And we'll go and find Sam.
Okay.
Cool. So there's a bed over there. Yeah.
So, Adele gently lays the old lady down in what he assumes was her bed, because it's the bigger of the two beds, and lays her own sheet over her.
Right.
Then he turns to Constantine and says, "Do you want to do the honours, Captain?"
We don't know what faith this woman.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest that she was Morrowind, considering she sent us to a Morrowind temple.
And most people would probably.
Seems like a fair shout.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, heading back to the church then? So, as you're travelling through the boroughs of Hospice Island, you do notice that a lot of people are giving you dirty looks.
Adele gives them dirty looks right back, and he has got more dirt on him, so...
And Myrtle will just straight up flip him the bird. Like, any that he thinks are being particularly dirty looks, fuck off.
Well, a couple of people are going, "Poor," and pinching their noses, and some kids are making rude comments.
Constantine's just going to say in general, it's alright, we know what we do.
Okay, so at this point, you notice walking down the street a familiar looking pirate.
I can smell you from 3 blocks away, boyos.
Hail and well met.
Well, man, yeah. That's a white boy.
You've got wind magic. Blow it off. Blow the shit off.
Blow you back to your childhood if I do that. What's this old lady doing? What are you doing with her?
She's not with them. She's left in the. They left her in the house.
Oh, I thought they were carrying her in a sack or something.
No. They didn't. They said that they didn't want to carry a half-eaten old lady through the streets.
Berta said that, and for once Adele had a flash of wisdom and actually agreed.
Yeah. So she's been left in the in her own old hovel with Balasar and Jocelyn looking over her. So, unless anybody has anything else, you walk to the Moran Chapel. It's only a couple of streets away. You are met at the door by Father Domnus, or Tom, or whatever I called him last time.
I think it was Thomas or something, but I kept thinking you were saying Tumnus.
Either works fine.
Now I'm looking for a lamp.
Yes, and checking his leggies. So, anyway, he said, "What's happened to you?"
Rats.
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 Curious. And will the boy's grandmother be joining us?
Unfortunately, we went back to their house, and upon further inspection, we found that grandmother had disappeared and there was a hole on it. So we went down to investigate, and it led to the sewers, as you can probably tell.
Yes. And
unfortunately, the boy's grandmother is passed.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Not just her, but at least, 10, 20 other bodies down there?
Yes, there was rather a cavalcade of unfortunate.
And you say this hole is in their abode?
The hole was in the abode.
I will send some of my congregation to go and is the threat over?
They were really
Adele
big
waves
rats.
the walking stick at him.
A rat with a walking stick?
We think there was some arcane connect to what was going on.
Some sort of dark magic?
Well, is it all magic?
No.
Well, he's dead, whoever he was.
Right. Well, if the threat is over, I will send some of my congregation down to fetch up the fallen and offer them the appropriate ceremonies.
Still going to recommend some guards.
Might I suggest gas masks and some kind of net, maybe a pole?
Well, we'll see what we can do to outfit them appropriately. Could I request that one of your number assist them? Perhaps somebody strong.
Jostin seems like a good idea.
Just there. No.
He's already there. Brilliant.
Yeah,
okay,
two
so
of our company are at the house.
he will of course be provided for. We will feed him and make sure he is well looked after.
Smashing.
Okay.
As for us, would you happen to know a nearby bathhouse or somewhere we could...
You can use our facilities here.
Smashing.
We have limited but not unreasonable access to clean water, what with this being a chapel and all. You are welcome to bathe, especially given the work that you have underdone this day.
Great.
He's
going to go and have a bath.
He points you towards the back.
Adele smiles for the first time since entering the sewers.
All right. So, for anyone that wants to bathe and wash their clothes / armour, there are barrels and tubs available. A couple of the church's group are fetching buckets and taking them in front of the fire to heat the water to bring it back to you. So it's a hot bath.
Lovely.
Bro.
All right.
Yeah.
So Father Thomas, once you're all cleaned up, comes out to you and says, "What would you want when it comes to Sam? Would you prefer I tell him, or did you want to tell him yourselves?"
I'll tell him.
Okay, that seems appropriate given he has a fondness for you, since I told him of how you healed him initially. Though he has no memory of it because of his fever, I told him of your ministrations. So he leads you to the room where Sam has been recovering. And upon opening the door, you see him sitting up in bed reading a book.
Walk him. Say to him, "Do you mind if I sit?"
He says, No, take a seat. And there's a seat next to the bed.
Okay. We've already been cleaned.
Yeah, you're clean and dry. New clothes. Well, not new clothes, but your clothes had been cleaned by members of the clergy, and then hung out in front of the fire while you bathed. So all of your clothes are clean.
Sam, you may have noticed that grandmother still hasn't come to visit.
He said, "Yes, will she be coming soon?"
Sam, I hate to break it. Unfortunately, your grandma.
Sorry, dude, you cut out.
Ah.
You said your grandmother, and then you cut out.
Your grandmother has passed on.
He just starts sobbing.
And we did all we could. Tried all we could, but she was taken from your house down into the sewer. Well,
who took her?
The person who took her has been dealt. He won't be bothering you again.
Who was he? I must know.
As far as we can tell, just a mindless hobo. Mind had been corrupted.
Yeah, fine.
Magic.
Yeah, he did.
So dark magic did this?
Yeah, he did.
After a fashion.
He seems angry.
Was Mara excited about what?
He says,
"Oh God, yeah, she was,
dark magic is truly evil and must be stopped."
I'm gonna lay my hand
Yeah, it did.
at the side of him.
It's still got loads of it though.
Absolutely, I agree. But you can't let this seem.
Yeah.
You have to think about what's going to happen with it.
You keep cutting out, dude.
Well, Ed didn't turn up in the end.
Sam, you can't let this anger consume you. You have to think about you going forward. The revenge has been accomplished. You need to find some way for you to live.
Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Alright. Bye.
I feel that I should
I love you. Bye.
I should do something. That I should do something that I need to think. And he starts weeping again.
Can you read, Sam?
Adele. Oh, sorry, you go on, Constantine.
Can you read, Sam?
A little. The brothers have been teaching me.
Right. My company and I need to make sure that we have other things to attend. But if you need us, grab a bit, jot down the location of the base. So
Okay.
come and find.
He thanks you and goes back to sobbing.
Adele shoves Murta and says, "Look, he can read." And there's a second business card he's got.
It's like, Murta looked confused. It's like, I know the business cards are a good idea.
Paper.
Oh, right. Right. Murta pauses and thinks for a minute. Opens up the pouch at his waist, ferrets out the bits of string and the small stones, and walks over to Sam.
Yep.
And goes, "I know it isn't much, but we got these from the man who was responsible for what happened to your..." Turns round to Adele and Constantine for a second. "Grandmother."
Oh, it's an unfamiliar word for you, isn't it?
Adele looks at the stones and at the string and says, maybe we should hang on to those. Those are in his possession. Maybe let me take a look at them. Sam, boy, you. How about we would you like to hunt dark practitioners of magic? We can teach you. You can hunt them down as a living.
He's really looking distraught at this point.
Mercer turns back and goes, "All right. So in my culture, we keep things for memories of people that..." He turns around and starts speaking, and he starts muttering to himself in Shard a little bit while he works out the words. And he goes, "Right, we keep them for when we plan to move forward and carry on, and to remember that our mates and family we closure." Do you know the word closure, Sam?
He nods, wiping away tears from his eyes.
And
Murta, those were in the sewer on a man who was crawling literally with rats, and you want to give those to a child. Do you know the word disease?
No. He got berries in a place. I washed them while we were in the bath.
Oh, you washed the stones?
Yeah.
Right, okay. You didn't tell me that.
Sorry. I assumed it was... Okay.
It is relevant.
Okay, if it's relevant, this entire...
I have a theory.
Right.
I have a theory.
So, make a detection tech, Murta only. You are not allowed to boost it.
Okay.
Okay, so you would have noticed when one of the stones with a light blue shade to it was exposed to water, it glowed slightly.
Cool. I will keep that one aside before handing him stones and string.
Okay.
Because obviously if it's like glowing, it would be like a... Yeah. But Murta's going to turn to Adele and go, "Seriously, dude, I'm trying to help him feel better.
Seriously,
I'm not used to this."
No, they were in the possession of a magic user. I think that I should examine them before we hand them to anyone else.
Murta will kind of look, nod, and then out of the pouch, he'll hold the blue one behind his back and wave it at Adele and kind of nod and put it back and go, "We can always ask Sam if he's happy for us to have a look at them, but I think they should be his."
And I really don't think that a child should have the possessions of a dark magic user. What is not clear here? You are all about corruption.
Can I just have a look at the redstone?
Yep.
And then I'm going to go over to a torch if there's one available, or light my own if not.
Yep.
And just put the stone into the heat.
It starts to glow.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay. I don't think we can give him these stones. I think these.
Thank you, Captain.
I think these stones are dark magic.
Okay, Murder's
Adele
going to
holds out his hand.
Murder's going to look a little confused and go, sorry, lad. And then a light bulb appears above his head and goes, I was going to make a mug out of this, but this was also on the old man, and starts holding out, like, the rat skull.
At this point, Father Thomas walks in and says, I was stood at the door waiting, but obviously you weren't speaking quietly. I could overhear talk of dark magic and stones and a rat skull. What's going on here?
I'm trying to help.
No, you're being an idiot. You do not know anything about the arts of magic. This was on a magic user. Give them here so I can look at them. All of them.
Oh, are you a practitioner of the gift?
I apprenticed as an arcane mechanic.
Oh, really? So deception roll, please. Well, we all know that that's not true, so...
We did know it's absolutely true. That's his background.
Yes, it may be your background, but it's not true. So, deception roll, please.
In all fairness, Tom, he said I apprenticed as one, not that he was one.
Okay, fair enough.
And if his background,
he passed anyway. Don't worry about it. But yeah, he's still lying to somebody. Anyway, so yeah, he buys the lie. He says, well, if they're dark magic, I really should call in the Order of Illumination that are in the city and have them look at them.
At which point Murta just goes, they're a bunch of rocks that were on a dead dude.
So they're not magical?
That's what I'm trying to determine, good sir. As someone who has been around magic and practices magic, I want to determine for myself whether or not they carry any residue. If they are, I will personally turn them over to the Order of Illumination.
He says, "Oh, brilliant," and goes, "I'll let you know where they're based," and he scribbles down an address for you.
Thank you so much.
I turn to the bloke and go, "This is just a rat skull. I am trying to help the boy. Can I give him a rat skull?"
I'd prefer it if you didn't give him a rat skull. It's terribly unsanitary, and he's just recovered from a potentially deadly illness. I understand that you mean well, but perhaps not.
I just told you about disease matter. Do you never listen to me? Oh, speaking of father, is there a way we can get, some of us sustained rat bites, and we may also carry the fever. Is there a way? Do you know of? Yes.
Well, there's. I've heard tell that there's a tuber that can be used to concoct a drink that will help stave off devil's fever, but it only grows on the southern shore and only in the forests. The local apothecaries might carry it.
We got the salve from the apothecary the other day, didn't we?
Yes, but you used it.
Yeah, I know, but we could go back to the same guy.
You totally could. And he's just basically confirming stuff that you already know.
At which point Murta is going to go, right, can I give him a knife?
No, I would prefer it if you don't give him a knife.
Right. Turns back to the lad and goes, sorry lad, I tried. Copper. And he pulls some copper out and went, found this on the guy. Puts down five copper.
Wrong with you? Nothing from the guy. Have you washed those? Are they clean?
I've washed everything. Marcus.
Did you wash the coins in vinegar?
In what?
In vinegar. Did you wash the coins in vinegar?
No, in the bath.
Captain, you need to speak to him. I cannot do this. I cannot do this anymore. You need to talk to him. I'm going to go to South Shore. I'm going to go on the ferry. I'm going to go and find this route. I'm going to take Balthazar with me or something. Maybe he needs to manage the corpses. I don't know. Anyway, you talk to him. I can't do this.
Okay.
Birchwell? Where are you, Birchwell?
And then I'm going to go to... I'm going to kind of motion to Murtaugh to put his coin purse away. And then I'm going to get a couple of coins out of my own stores and give that to Sam and say, look, this might not last you very long, but this should get you, keep you going for the next couple of days.
I step out of the room with the priest, and I kind of step over to the priest and go, I'm just trying to make the lad feel better. They weren't actually off the fucking dead guy.
Yeah, but now, but he'll be certain of it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've given him 3 silver, Tom.
Okay, mate. Noted. He has the 3 silver sat on the sheet in front of him on top of his legs, just staring blankly down at it.
When you know what you want to do, Sam, let us know. If you want to stay with us, you can. If you want to stay with the brothers, you can. We might be able to find you somewhere else away from this too. But I know that you need time to grieve.
Okay.
Out
Anyone
of
got...
character.
Yes.
Murder was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, no, we all get that.
In like his weird little fucked up head.
Yep. He's
Out of character. That was brilliant, Alan. I really appreciated that.
It was good. Growing up on in a Crixin city, he doesn't really know how to be nice very well.
Hence, also the repeated turning around and going, family? Is that the word?
Anywho, so the father ushers you out of the room and says he needs to rest and grieve.
Taking everything.
Yes. He thanks you all most considerably and says if you are ever in this area and in need of rest or recuperation, you are welcome within these walls.
And does that also apply to ailments of the mind, good father?
Any help you may need. Basically, out of character, you guys now have connections this church.
Okay.
Adele is looking pointedly at Murta when he asks this question, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious.
It wasn't, but so the way I like to do connections is I like to offer them sometimes as a quest reward. So you now have connections this church. Not all churches, this specific church.
I'm going to put it as a connection on just above debts for the group.
Yep.
What's the church called?
It doesn't have a name.
What's the district?
Oh God.
It's the Poor Island.
But there's a district of it. It's in Hospice Island.
Okay. There's the Morrowind Church, the Hospice Island. It might be one of the Morrowind churches, Island, but yeah.
I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
Because I do have it down somewhere. Somebody's alarm's going off.
Yep. It's my new computer yet again telling me something else it can do.
It's time. Time for you to do something.
It's going, haha, look, I can do alarms too. I see that you have one on your phone that is connected to your Google account. Is this the alarm you want on your computer? No, shut up.
Fair enough.
I will be honest, that is actually something I didn't know it could do. So that's actually a useful thing it's told me. But...
Okay, chaps. So, out of character, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's good.
So, I guess we pop to the apothecary to just pick up some of that salve.
Mhm.
And then... Ooh, what is next?
So
Bertrell, have you got anything? Since you're here today.
I've been in a drunken stupor for the past 2 days, so I'm not really sure where we are beyond you guys came back with some smelling clothing. So
GM voice, things I've prepared. The burglary of the jewels back from the person that Riley lost them to. The investigation of the Sheridan's family estate that got sold off to help the company continue going. He sold off the estate. So you guys wanted to visit that estate. That is prepared. Also, any of the other minor things that don't require big things from me. So,
what about a fish? The fish.
The fish we can do. You could also do visiting the widows and orphans and Abrams. All of those are prepared.
We do owe Abrams 25 gold.
I also know that Justin's player did want to go fishing, so if we've got other things to do, we could keep that for him.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Okay. Well, let's head back to base. Bounty, or do a little bit of shopping or whatever.
Oh, I have a bounty prepared as well, yeah.
What? Anyone else?
Nope. Okay, let's head back to the base for a bit.
Head back to the base.
Via the apothecary.
Oh, via the apothecary.
Yep, okay, so as you walk into the apothecary, you see the same grumpy looking dude manning the counter as was there last time. He says, "What can I do you for?"
We need some of that salve we bought from you the other day.
Oh. More people been bit, eh?
Yep.
Ah. Okay.
Well, we need a precaution.
How much of it do you need?
Can we have...
Five of us went down there.
Yeah, 5 doses.
5 doses. Okay. Ooh, well, that stuff's hard to come by. Doesn't grow here. Very expensive.
What if we were to procure some for you?
Procure some for me? How much are you talking about procuring for me?
Replacing whatever you use on these?
I usually just buy it from some of the woodsmen that live over on South Shore. Some of their scouts tend to dig up the tubers while they're out looking for good trees to fell. They know what the plants look like, so they know where to dig.
Alright.
Adele simply turns and looks at Constantine.
As an aside, just to check, have we healed now, Tom?
Yes, because you rested at the chapel, so everyone would gain their fizz in health back. And
feat points?
Yeah, 3 fate points.
Cool.
So you get your fizz and health back.
Cool.
Well remembered.
1, 2, 3. So that should still be marked off. Oh, I healed more than I thought.
Probably like 6.
5.
Oh,
I'd only taken 6 damage.
Oh, right.
I don't have much health. 6 is a lot to me.
Fair enough. Balasar has physique 7, so.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I gave him a stat last week. No, I haven't. So he hasn't taken his stat yet. I didn't get to talk to you guys about what you wanted him to put it into.
Just 8.
Because he's on physique 7, maximum for his race is 8. He's maxed at speed. He's at strength 5 out of 7. He's at poise 2 out of 4, but that's irrelevant. Perception 3 out of 4. Prowess 5 out of 5. Agility 4 out of 5. And intellect 3 out of 4. So
that sounds good.
I was thinking if it was
or strength.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Strength could be good because then he can.
It's only
hit
1
things.
extra damage though, whereas physique is 1 extra armor and 1 extra health. He's going for that. I'll go for that. Also, I think there's some abilities tied to his fizz, like shield guardy things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, so he has an 8 fizz now. Cool. So the apothecary says to you that it will cost. 1 second. It will cost 15 gold for the 5 of you.
Right. 15 gold.
Yep.
And how much does it cost for us to get across the ferry, Mr. Treasurer?
The ferry costs. 1 second, I do have it. Gone. Ferry.
It's 2 silver each, and 3 silver per axle of a cart.
So it'd be 6 for the cart and 2 each. So that can be like a couple of gold.
And then
Do
you
we
have to
need
find
to take
it.
the cart? Could we simply not just go ourselves with bags?
Okay, so the guy's just asked 15 gold to just give us the doses. We can try and bargain him down.
Well, go ahead then. I shall stand here and watch.
Okay. So unsurprisingly, that's a negotiation or barter. Is there barter? I forget it.
That was meant to be out of character, but yes, okay. Basically, Murta will turn around. So, Murta will apparently negotiate.
Yep.
Murta goes, well, we're headed over to South Shore at some point soon, so maybe we'll be able to get you some of the tuba. How about we call it 10, and we'll definitely get you that tuba. Some of that tuba. And now I'll roll a negotiation. A skill that Murta still hasn't actually taken any points in.
That they keep making you do.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to use perception in kind of like the idea of seeing how far I can push him.
Mm-hmm.
Watching his body language.
Okay. He says no, 15.
Terrible roll.
He says no, 15 gold.
My good man, 15 gold is a little extravagant, don't you think?
Well,
are you quite sure you couldn't lower it?
Well, considering you say you need 5 doses and there's more than 5 of you looking relatively nervous, I think 15 gold's fine.
I rolled a 16 on negotiation.
I know, and that's why I said what I said.
I'm just going to put the 15 gold down unless anyone really has a proper way of negotiating with him.
Can I ask him, does he speak Kadora?
He does not.
Murder did not negotiate very well there. An 8. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh well, never mind.
Murder will put down the gold, wait to be handed the salve, and go, guessing you don't need us to get you any of that tuber then. Alright.
He says,
And
no,
start
I've
wandering
got
off.
my regular suppliers. He says, I recommend you don't exert yourself too much.
Eh. Wanders off.
Okay.
Back to the base.
Yep. So you are now back at your base.
Are we going to pop into the guild before, or are we just going to go home and sleep off today's exertion?
It would be on the way, so it's up to you if you want to quickly pop in.
Do you want one, Murtaugh?
No reason not to have one in the back pocket.
Because then if you're going somewhere near where it is, you can always
Just do it.
just do it.
Oh,
Yep.
So, hang on a second. I'm just going to find the bounty.
So Murta's going to spend the time as we head to the bounty hunting office going, right, so he's going to turn to Birchwell and go, right, so there was this little shit that thought he was a good thief, but he kept getting caught. Well, not caught, no one caught him, but they knew who he was. So they put this bounty on him. And we went down to Captain's Island and found this, and we found out what his stomping ground was, and to basically go through the story. Have you watched it, Riker? Because I know you've been keeping up with some of the episodes.
I'm still only on episode 2.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. So it basically he goes through like the plan, which I'll leave you to get to, and go. And the little shit was really easy to catch, and he was just mouthy. Really easy. Really easy.
So, in the bounty office, the one that's at the top of the pile, you see a bounty for 10 gold, wanted alive, wanted for arson of a public house, last seen on the Wake Islands at the scene of the crime.
Out of character, I'm laughing, Tom.
The description is of a mid-height man with dark hair, moustache and a goatee, dressed in some sort of long coat with a cape.
So as I look at this, I'm going to look at the picture, and I'm going to turn and look at Adele.
Right, so I need a very easy perception roll from you, just for fun. Because you're the only one that's seen this so far. Yeah, you're pretty sure that this is a description of Adele.
I kind of look back at the sheet again.
Yep.
Look to see if the bounty guy is about.
He is. He sat in the chair.
Cool.
Why
I kind of-
on earth are you looking at me like that, Murta?
I was going, oh, don't you want to find out a bit more about bounties? You should have a chat to the guy. You should see what this business is about, Adele.
Why on earth would I want to sully my hands with something like that?
Adele
The last
hasn't seen the
time
bounty yet, by the way.
We captured an innocent man and
I'm gonna
subjected him to some kind of
kind of
hellscape.
like step slightly closer to Adele and point at the fucking thing and go, you should really have a chat with him while I have a good think about this bounty, Adele.
Adele leans over Murta, he looks at it, and then he starts swearing in Laolis, saying, whoever pulled this kind of prank, I will kill.
For those of our viewers and for any of the players that are unaware, a couple of weeks ago, for us, Adele set fire to a pub in a city where what's the crime for arson?
It's a hanging.
Yeah, because
it's one of the few things that is punishable by death in 5 things.
So death by gibleting, drowning, or hanging, judge dependent. And yeah, it turns out when there's a rocky island with mainly wooden houses on it, they're not keen on fire. And Adele set fire to a building.
No one saw me.
No. That is not true. You couldn't see anyone that saw you. When you rolled a perception to see if anybody saw you, you thought that you didn't see anyone. I was quite explicit with my wording.
So yeah. So maybe you want to have a talk and find out about the fine business of bounty hunting, Adele.
Now, why would I want to do something like that? You
Captain.
deal with
For fuck's sake.
I'll speak to the man, for goodness sake.
And say what?
Right. Why? I'm now going to look to see if the office dude is now watching them.
He's not. He's still reading his paper.
Right. I'm going to wander back over to the cabinet, kind of step behind it.
Yep.
While they're hopefully making noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to carefully roll it up and hide it in my fucking armor.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go and look after... I'm then going to try and make it look like I've put it back in the fucking cabinet and that I'm looking through other contracts.
Okay, sneak. That seems the appropriate one.
Yep, and I will boost this.
Yep, boosting it is appropriate, seeing as it's something you're desperately trying to do.
Yep. Sneak.
So you have replaced...
Oh, Jesus Christ, I am going to re-roll that.
Okay.
Because that is a low roll.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. So you have replaced the bounty that was in the display cabinet with an older bounty with a similar kind of looking layout, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and crime and things.
Yep. And are hoping that the bloke doesn't notice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Brilliant.
And then I'm going to make it look, and then I'm going to flip past it to see if there's any other bounties of interest, basically.
So no, not any that look new.
Cool. All right.
Adele's going to dig through them with a research roll, see if you can find anything interesting.
Okay.
It's a 12.
How long are you spending researching? How long are you spending in this bounty office?
As long as it takes for Mercer to put things away and to pose himself and to stop.
So only a few seconds then.
Well, in Adele's mind, that's about 10 minutes.
Okay, but that doesn't equate to... Basically what I'm trying to ascertain is the longer you spend researching, the better a bonus you get. That's how research works. So, like, basically I'm asking you how long are you staying in the bounty office researching?
So I would have been looking for a bounty for a good 10 minutes after hiding that one, so he'd probably have been looking as long as I've been looking.
Cool. Alright then. So you find one for a man wanted for piracy. 5 gold. Last seen on... 1 second. Last seen on the Wake Islands.
Okay.
There is a description, but it's not particularly relevant right now.
So it's not Birchwell.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not Birchwell.
I'm gonna slowly walk away and go stand outside for a few minutes.
Yeah. So we all head back to the base with this bounty, I'm guessing.
Yep. Well, 2 actually.
Yep. Because I fucking hid it in my fucking jacket.
Yep.
When we get back to the base, I'm gonna look up and down the alley, see if there's anyone there. Take the bounty out of my shirt and put it on the table, and go, right, this is why we don't burn down fucking houses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
I closed all of the doors, shut all of the windows, and made sure I was by myself. This is obviously a fabrication. Someone is out there trying to frame me. Also, Mograt, have you seen a knife? I need to shave. And cut my hair. And maybe dye my hair. I think it's time for me to go blonde. I think blonde is in fashion right now.
Oh, brilliant.
Mograt!
Mograt runs into the room.
Mograt, do you know what lie is?
Is that when you go on the ground and then go sleep?
Yes, Mograt. Do you know what lime is?
What?
Lime.
For the love of... something to change the colour of my hair, Mograt. To change it from dark to blonde. You see, the sun is shining, and I've had enough of being nighttime in my hair. I want to have sunshine in my hair.
Go outside then. That's a good way to get sunshine in your hair. Go outside.
Mac, hello, Mac, Mr. Forge Man.
Yeah, he's there.
Mac, you've been around the town a little. I'd like to change the colour of my hair and get a shave and, fashion's in nail, changing all the time. I'd like to keep pace. Would you happen to know where one could do such a thing around here? These parts?
No. I don't really have hair, so not really something I've ever thought about, I'll be honest with you.
No, but you're an alchemist, are you not? Surely you could whip me up some kind of concoction.
Yeah, I could definitely give it a go. He looks excited at the prospect.
Wonderful.
Do you want me to work on this now, or shall I continue working on the bomb?
Yes. Captain? Captain?
Yes.
There you are. Would you mind if we took a temporary respite from the bomb making and, yes, kept up to date with fashions?
Balasar goes, isn't that 200 gold? Why are we turning down 200 gold so you can dye your hair?
Because one simply has to keep up appearances, my good sir.
For 200 gold?
If you don't have fashion, you have nothing.
I'm going to look at Balazar and go, it's on the table is the reason.
Oh, Balasar looks down at it and goes...
Grabs it.
He just starts chuckling.
Adele grabs it and puts it in the nearest fire.
Okay. Anyone doing anything?
No, I'm letting him do that and then just going to go, you realise it's probably in more than one office, right?
Yes. That's why I want to have sunshine in my hair. Do you know how long it's taken me to actually cultivate this goatee, this fine example? And now I'm going to have to cut it off. Oh, this is a terrible, terrible day.
Carry on, shave your hair, do whatever you need to do, but we're not sacrificing the mission because you were an idiot. And now you've thrown that bounty away, we're not going to be able to collect on it. So maybe we should go visit another bounty office.
We've got the pirate one. For which I will congratulate Adele on finding.
We need to make sure that we can hold it over Adele in future. But never mind.
Oh, fantastic. So the letter I wrote wasn't enough. Now you want to hold it over a bounty. In fact, why don't you get it out right now so I can sign it?
At which point, Murta is going, am I the voice of reason these days? That's a weird feeling.
Voice of reason trying to give a child contaminated coins and rat skulls.
They weren't from the actual bloke. I was giving him some of my coins. I was pretending they were from the bloke to make him feel better.
Well, aren't you the sneaky one?
Yes, he is.
Yes, that's kind of my job.
Now, Adele. Goodness sake. Sort yourself out.
Well, now I need to decide what fashion to wear. Do you have any suggestions? Should I go for a mohawk or a mullet? Maybe I'll braid my hair.
Why don't you
go bald?
Why don't you shave your head, shave your moustache, shave your goatee, and then no one will be able to recognize you. And by the time it's all grown back, the bounty will probably have been collected on some poor unfortunate.
Fine.
Poor
All right,
unfortunate souls.
Shave you with wind, boyo. Razor wind.
No guts.
Oh dear.
No guts.
All right, fine. Go ahead. See if I care.
Targeted roll.
Are you actually doing this?
Yes, out of the stables. Come along now. Let's get this over with.
It is entirely up to you whether you do this, but you will be essentially making a damage roll against it, because that's not how that spell works.
If I'm really careful.
If you're really careful, you could just remove his head. Oh, dear.
I'm going to advise against this as a.
Murta will drop one of his. Murta will drop a knife into his hand and go, I could shave it.
Yes, I suppose you could. But I don't trust that knife is sterilized.
He looks a bit blank and goes, looks at the cat, looks around the group and goes, what the fuck is sterilized?
Balazar shrugs.
Right, goodness sake. I'm going to have to light another flame.
Well, no, there's a fire going in the corner of the, room.
Right, I'm going to get some water, boil it up, put it on the, put the knife into the boiling water, and then heat it up in the thing, and then clean it off, and then hand it back.
Yep.
Right, I'll cut your hair now then, is it?
Fine, very well. Let's get this over with. But I still need to change my cloak, or at least leave it here for the time being.
Sounds like a good idea.
So, make a... is it poise or prowess? Make a prowess roll.
Cool. Oh dear, that's not very good.
You do a passable haircut.
I look at it and go, it's harder to do on someone else, you know? I always thought it would be harder to do on yourself, but it's harder to cut someone else's hair, apparently.
But you have cut his hair without hurting him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mata. I
And
guess
shaved
this is
him.
your role. I'm pleasantly surprised.
It is not a fashionable haircut. He's essentially given you a short back and sides.
Now I need to find a toupee. I wonder where I can find a toupee around here.
Don't need a toupee.
Adele, he will further the plot.
Anyway, gentlemen, shall we proceed?
It's evening now, so one would recommend going to sleep.
Yes. Going to sleep. Good idea. Night, night, everyone.
Good night. Eight. That is fine. Okay, cool.
Okay. Do we get health again?
No, that's not how that works.
I know. I was messing, dear.
Yeah, no, it's.
I know it's only once.
It's what? Yeah, when you do slowly regain health, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember how that works off the top of my
I
head.
will find it for you. So slow recovery. Recovery and gaining vitality. So after a short rest, you gain your fizz. If you suffer damage, you continue to recover over time. 1 vitality point for each hour for the first 3 hours, and then 1 vitality point for every 6 hours after that. So you would gain 1, 2, 3, 4.
Enough. I only had 1 left to heal.
Okay, right. So you'd have gained 4 or 5 depending on how long you sleep in for.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
All right. So you awaken in the morning to the sound of the Final Fantasy waking up music.
Cool. Right. Day 14.
Dun dun.
We've made it 2 weeks, boys!
Alrighty.
Nope.
So, is the intention to go visit Abrams now, or?
Right, we have 30 gold in the party purse, but we do owe the pension fund 25, and obviously Adele has kind of now made a promise that we will sort that out sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Adele has also promised 25 for information on the officer's daughter.
Have you actually told us that one? I know you told us about the pension shit. I don't know if you told us about that.
Should we just say that you also put that in the bounty office?
Yes.
Okay. So in the bounty office, you put a description of the girl and information leading to the recovery of individual 25 gold.
With the definite words, alive, if dead, you will not be paid.
Okay, and did you intend to put your base as the address for people to collect?
That is a very good question.
Because where else would you put is my question.
We could put the bounty office and then leave the money with the bounty office.
But then...
However, we don't have the money.
Well, not just that, you're also then waiting, well, hoping that a bounty hunter or the bloke that works at the bounty office will sit there with her for an undetermined amount of time.
We'll be checking in every day.
Okay.
So I can confirm, and that if he has receipts, because I found out these are a thing, if he has receipts, we will reimburse him for the...
Well, the guy that works at the bounty office wouldn't pay the bounty for you.
Yeah, that's why we need to get 25 gold to put behind the fucking counter.
Okay.
But this is also a question of, is the captain and the treasurer willing to support this? I am just saying, if we do support it, this is how Murta would suggest dealing with it.
If it makes any difference to you at all, this is the daughter of one of the Grey Lantern's officers who's dead. And his wife has gone missing. Oh no, the wife is the one... the daughter's gone missing, sorry. The wife is the one that asked.
So, as far as Murta's concerned, it's the captain's decision.
Yep.
Because he's like, they were Grey Lantern, that's a big thing, but they're also dead, so...
No loyalty.
25 gold. Does it have to be 25 gold?
No.
Well, the man at the watch simply would not listen for any less. So that's what I told him.
Yeah, that's just the guy at the watch.
If we put our address here as the place to collect the bounty, then we get first kind of right of checking whether this person is who the bounty says they are. 25 gold is like a year's wages.
Well, I was having a chat with Murta about the value of money and all of that, and like I said, the man at the watch captain, simply would not go any lower. So I simply went with it. We seem to be making that kind of money on a regular basis. And I thought that, obviously, being the daughter of one of our officers, and how you've dealt with Sam, that would have been the right and moral thing to do. Following your lead, Captain, sir.
It seems certainly like the right thing to do, to be honest. We just need to make sure we have the funds available if someone collects on it.
In terms of a bounty hunter, 10 gold would probably be enough for the recovery of one person.
Well, perhaps we can simply post it for 10 gold, and if the watch captain comes collecting, I will make myself scarce. I mean, that's not really very moral, is it? But,
No, we'll put the bounty up as 25. We just need to make sure we've got the money, and there's a very simple way to go and get that money.
Fishing?
Yeah, fishing.
Alrighty. So we'll retcon that you did put a bounty up when you were at the bounty office, because I'm not going to bother going back there because it's time consuming, I guess.
A waste of time.
Yeah. So you just did that in the different order because expediency.
Okay. Cool. Let's go to Vab Scrapyard.
I thought you guys were waiting for Jocelyn to do the fish.
Yeah, I thought we were too. I thought we were going to do other things and then go.
Okay.
My understanding was you were going to see Abrams.
Yeah, we can go and see Abrams.
Right. We have 30 gold. I can either put the 25 gold behind the counter at the bounty office, or I can... Which way are we going to do this?
You already said that you put your address on the bounty for the collection point.
Oh, okay.
To not need to put money down behind the office.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if that was a decision that to be... Right, cool. That was a little confusing, that bit.
Sorry.
No, never mind. Oh, it's fine. It's probably my brain. Okay. So, let's go to Abrams.
So, Abrams had previously told you that he lodged at the orphanage itself, and that there are various individuals that have their own dwellings round and about that take stipend from the funds, but the majority are the orphans that live within the orphanage. So I'm guessing you're going to the orphanage.
Yeah.
Okay. So just 1 second while I roll. Pardon me. You arrive at the orphanage with no interruptions.
Smashing.
Okay, so it's a modest building that looks like it was once a workplace, not a orphanage. It looks like it's been repurposed somewhat for that. Yep, that's it. So going inside.
Adele goes and raps on the door.
No answer.
Adele holds the door open.
The door swings open to the gentlest of touches. The coppery smell of blood fills your nostrils.
Weapons out, chaps. Weapons out.
Lock and load.
Blades out.
Yep.
I'm gonna draw my sword. Shing!
Balasar looks at you and goes, your sword is noisy.
He's a very flashy man, Balazar.
Alrighty. So, are you walking in?
Yep.
Yep.
So, as you...
Adele is going to sneak in.
Okay, sneak roll then. Cool. So you sneak into the building. The smell of blood gets more acute the further you go in. As you turn into the main room, which looks to have been repurposed as some sort of classroom, you begin to see bodies all over the place.
Are any of these bodies alive?
Not in this room, no. And they seem to be appropriate size for the residents.
Right, okay. Is there any evidence of what might have caused this?
You'd have to roll. You'd have to go examine. So, you think that bladed weapons did this?
Okay.
Constantine. Yes, Constantine. You get a
you go first.
You get a sniff of something familiar. Make a intellect roll for checking your memory.
Memories.
Oh, that was a perfect crit, Constantine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the last time you smelt this was in the caves.
Yeah.
Adele is checking to see how fresh the blood is. Whether it's dry, whether it's wet.
Relatively
it's wet,
fresh.
Cold.
It's cold, but not dried.
How many doors are there off this room?
None. It's you walk from the main hallway into this room, and that's it. There's no other way out of this room. Off the main corridor that you started in, there is stairs that go upstairs and another room further back of the building.
Right, okay. I suggest we check out the rest of the building then.
Okay.
I suggest we
split
check
up.
out the basement.
Yeah, that's also worth doing.
Because if it's the same smell as from under, yep, those aren't exactly going to be able to wander through the streets without being noticed. So, underground, overground, wambling free.
Constantine lay his hand on Murtaugh's shoulder and just kind of lean into him and say, "Are you okay?"
Nope.
Courage, Mary. Courage for our friends.
There might still be people alive. We need to check out all the rooms as quickly as we can.
I agree. Right, I'm going to go upstairs and check to see if there are any people alive upstairs.
Okay, so
We'll go
with you,
looking for a.
Captain.
sorry. Carry on.
I was going to say Murta will go looking for a basement.
Okay. So, Constantine going upstairs, you find that the entirety of the upstairs has been dedicated to dormitories, and there are rows of small little beds with red-stained sheets.
Right. Is there anyone alive up here?
No.
Are there bodies up here, or are they all been dragged
Oh no, there's
downstairs?
bodies.
Right. Are they appropriately sized?
Yes.
Are any of them aprons?
No.
Are there any other entry or exit points that I can see?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go back downstairs then and let everyone else know.
Okay. So going
Adele is going to search for an office. Sorry, there's a bit of lag, so
That's
it
fine.
sounds
That's
like
fine.
there's a pause and.
So going to the back of the room towards the back, you find Murta finds a office room that Adele was also going to be looking for. There is blood splattered across the wall here as well, but not as much.
Murder is going to ignore that for now and start looking for a way down.
So behind the desk you hear a moaning sound.
That's more immediate investigation then. I'll go and check.
Okay, so lying on the floor behind the desk is Abrams. He's covered in blood and has looks like he's been thoroughly beaten.
He's been beaten but not killed?
Yep.
Interesting.
Is interesting.
Can I...
I'm gonna...
That well, has found something yet?
I would pretty much go. I'd shout, "Found a live one!" And I'm gonna look him in the face and go, "The only live one? How'd you survive?"
He said I had to live. Sorry, he said it said I had to live. To tell you what happened.
What happened here?
It's too much. It was awful, sir. It was awful. There was this loud banging, and then these things came up from out of the coal cellar, and they started cutting people down.
What did they look like?
It was a woman, but I couldn't see her face, and this terrifying thing with 3 faces. It was screaming, and it was gleeful at the same time as it was going about its dark work.
What did it tell you? Why did it leave you alive?
It said I had to tell you what happened.
Is that it?
Well, I could hear it. You're gonna think I'm mad. It was like it was talking to itself.
What did it say? Best recollection, what did it say?
Well, one of the voices was pleading to not do this, and the other voice was saying, "No, you must watch," as it did what it did.
Right, and was it just slaughtering the residents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any indication of why?
I heard one phrase. The loudest voice, it shouted, "I will break you."
You there, Abrams, man. You're a member of the Grey Lanterns. I need you to think very carefully for me. The rest of the widows, where are they? If these are the orphans, and that thing has just murdered the orphans, I think they might go for the widows next. We need to go and make sure each one of them is safe. We can't do that by ourselves.
But the desk drawer. There's a ledger with names and addresses of everyone that draws money from the fund.
Mr. Murtaugh?
I'll get a ledger. Open. Look
So,
through.
As he said, there is a ledger. It has a long list of names of recipients of the Widows, Orphans and Veterans Fund and their addresses.
Have you told us everything you know?
He's coughing as he's coughing out blood.
Listen, man, pay attention. Tell us everything you know. Can't possibly get worse for you, can it?
he says that I don't want to be here anymore.
Listen, man, you have a responsibility to the living. There are still widows. You owe your duty to them. Do you want them to die as well?
No,
The man can barely walk. Leave him be.
barely walk. He has no legs.
Yeah.
He says it's just like I told you. This thing came in, started killing. Part of it protesting, part of it insisting.
Did you recognise the voices?
I'm just going to make a roll. You're going to think I'm mad. Because it can't be what I think it was. It can't be.
Actually, it can.
But he's dead.
Au contraire, mon ami.
There
is most certainly
heaven and earth, Abrams, that are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Oh dear God, really?
Oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm on the wrong page. He said, if I didn't think it impossible, I'd say it sounded like Gervin. But he's been dead for, what, years?
Remember where he
really?
died, man.
You couldn't possibly think.
Oh, yes, we can. And oh, yes, we do.
The bastard.
We've met this thing
Indeed.
before.
Then the other voice?
Now, I need you to think very, very carefully.
He starts weeping.
Is there anything that was dear to Riley? Anything that he cared about, aside from the widows and the orphans? Anything else that this monster could destroy?
Anything that Riley loved? Well,
Yes.
the Grey Lanterns. That's all he loved. He sold off everything for us. Maybe, I don't know. If he did keep anything, it would have been something to do with his family. Maybe his old manor house. Maybe there's something that was left there. I don't know.
Sold that off as well.
He sold the manor house.
Yeah, he sold the manor house.
Really?
Yeah, to pay for the widows and veterans.
That had been in his family for generations. God, what was his...
How long have you known the family? You seem to know them quite well.
Well, I'd been with the I'd been with the company for, before Gervin.
Before Gervin?
Yeah.
You knew Gervin's father?
Yeah, I knew their father. Served under him.
I have a slightly odd question, but bear with me. Where were the company buried?
The company?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't get buried. Sometimes we'd bury them where they fell, to the side of a battlefield. We'd dig a grave, leave a marker in case their family ever wanted to come visit, because it weren't always practical to bring them back. Sometimes we'd load them all up and bring them home if we had the carts, and they'd get buried at sea. Why?
Adele shoots Constantine a very dirty look and simply clasps his hands behind his back.
Where do you think Grey Lanterns get buried?
That's a very interesting question that I don't have an answer to.
Strange.
Did I notice the evil look that Adele just shot me?
I don't know. That's between you two.
Adele?
I made it obvious. I don't know if you need to roll something to see it.
It's entirely up to you two.
Okay, I'm going to shoot him back an inquisitive look, like, what's up? I also want to check to see if Abrams is going to die, essentially. I want to know how injured he is.
That'll be a medicine roll, sir. Oh, 13. Very good. You are good at the ways of rolling dice. You think that he is spitting blood.
So his lungs are going out.
It says the character suffered a life-threatening injury and is bleeding out. Unless he receives medical attention, he's certain to die.
Right.
If he can be stabilised, he can be stabilised. So you just need to do a medical roll.
Can I stabilise him?
Yeah, of course you can.
Right. So is that another medical roll?
Yes, it is, sir.
I'm going to boost this one.
You've got your surgeon's kit as well now, haven't you?
No, we didn't buy it.
Oh, right.
No,
Because if you have a surgeon's kit, you get a bonus to the roll. Yeah, you managed to stabilise him.
Okay.
Well,
he thanks you.
I remember a certain church owing us a favour. Maybe we should, take him there, let him recover.
They're gonna think they're the hospital wing of the Grey Lanterns. Yes.
Well,
let's get this man. This man doesn't deserve this. Let's take him to safety.
I'm gonna say to the captain, we probably still need to check names on this list. I turn to Birchwell and go, "You're fast, mate. Me and you."
Oh, is this like a flash moment running from house to house?
Yeah. If the trolls, whoever is here from the trolls,
Just Balasar.
if Balasar, Deld, and I take Abrams to the church, the Morrowind.
He says, "I won't go there. I'll go to your base."
Okay, we'll take Abrams to the base then.
Well, Captain, I still have the officer's widow, which is still rather dear to me. I would rather check in on her. Could we not simply send Balazar to take Abrams to the base? He seems strong and capable.
I'm going to kind of look at Balasar and say, well, I know he's capable. It's whether he wants to go alone or not.
Balasar looks around at all the carnage, looks at Abrams and goes, "I'll make sure he's safe."
Excellent. Kind of salute. Yeah, I'm going to salute Balasar and then say, right, Adele, should we go and speak to this widow there?
Yes. In fact, why don't we take a couple of pages out the ledger? Murtaugh and Birchwell can check the others, and we'll take a couple of pages and we can do the rounds together.
Okay.
Excellent idea.
So we'll go with Birchwell and Murtaugh first, please.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. You reckon we should split up, Birchwell, or you reckon we should stick together?
I think we stick together on this one.
Aye.
In case.
Okay, so
Right.
the first address on your list is not too far away. Couple of streets.
Well, let's run.
Okay, so as you approach the door, you see that the doorway to this abode is open.
How open? Like
Open
are we talking like the door is kicked in or
it's open ajar.
jar?
Yeah. When is a door not a door?
What do you think we do? Do we knock or do we just mosey on in?
I reckon we barrel in going Grey Lantern's business upon Grey Lantern's business. And if they try to have a go, we'll tell them that the Grey Lanterns are concerned for their health.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. We barrel through the door.
You barrel through the door into a modest-looking living space, cooking area at the back of the room, a couple of chairs. Nobody's there. There is a stairway to your right, and towards the back of the room, another door.
You hear anything in the house going on, or is it just quiet?
Detection roll if you want to hear things. Okay, so Murta, you think that you can hear footsteps upstairs.
Right. Birchwell going to roll as well, or?
By the way, this is it's early morning right now.
Yeah.
Oh, how early? Like we're like people are just waking up early? Or...
Yeah, a lot of them are. Because this is the first thing that you guys have done today, so it's early in the morning. You guys are quite early risers.
Yeah.
Do you want to search down here first, or are we going straight up?
You checked. If you check around down here, I'll go upstairs.
Okay.
Seems like a plan.
I'm gonna sneak around though. I want to be quiet. Try and be quiet while I'm doing this.
Okay, sneak roll then.
Whereas I'm not gonna sneak because I want it. If these people are still fine, I don't want them thinking I'm trying to steal shit.
Okay, so you're not sneaky.
Yeah.
Cool. So Birchwell, are you looking around the downstairs? So you find modest home trappings. There's a sketched drawing of a man in Grey Lantern's uniform on the mantle. There is various pots and pans by the hearth, and a modest rug on the floor in front of the fire.
Is the rug a throw rug, or is it like a carpet?
It's a throw rug.
Can I search under the throw rug?
Yeah, sure.
If there's any...
You don't need to roll for that. There's nothing under the rug.
Okay.
So, Murta, you are now at the top of the stairs.
It's basically as I'm going up the stairs, I'm just going. Anyone here? Anyone here?
Okay.
Kind of like.
So, you hear the sound of smashing wood and glass breaking.
I'll bolt towards the sound and.
Okay, so out of the two bedrooms, you go towards the one that you heard the sound from, and you're quite quick, aren't you?
Speed 7.
Make an agility roll.
Okay.
I just want to see how quickly you reacted, essentially.
Cool.
Okay.
Would initiative have been better if you're seeing how quick I'm reacting?
No, because well, yeah. I mean, it's up to you, really. Yeah, initiative if it's more appropriate to you.
Initiative feels right, but initiative would also be a much higher number.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Cool. Just.
Okay, so very quickly is the answer. So as you enter the room, you can see that a window has been smashed from the inside outwards, because there's no glass on the floor as you run into the room. You run to the window, and just as you reach it, you look down and you see what looks like a woman with a hood over her head, a dagger in her hand, dripping with blood as she falls to the ground to a thump at the bottom of the alley.
Cool. I'm going to yell back, Birchwell, pursuit! Pursuit!
Dash outside and try and find out where.
Yep. Jump from the window and try and jump onto her and draw my blades as I jump.
Okay. Oh, you're jumping out the window?
Yeah. I am aware that's not necessarily a very clever idea, but hey, bounty hunter instincts.
Okay. That is definitely an agility roll then.
Yeah, that's 100% an agility roll.
Yep.
And I'm not going to take the crit from the initiative roll because it is not a skill roll.
It is not. Okay, so you manage to land without injuring yourself, but you do not land on the woman. She's already started hobbling down the alleyway. She seems to have, from what you can see, it looks like her right foot is twisted at an unnatural angle from the fall.
Does that count as a success then?
Yeah, if
Cool. Feet.
yeah, because you rolled a double 3. Yep.
So I will carry on chasing her and kind of shouting.
I need a roll from Birchwell for running as well, so an agility roll, sir.
Agility.
Yep, so Birchwell bursts out of the front door and into the alleyway also, so the three of you are now in the alleyway. I am going to reuse a map because I just need an area to place you. Oh no, I've got a different map
Can I
I can
hit her with
use.
Storm Toss before...
No, you cannot.
No?
No, you can't use that out of combat in this time. Because it will take time to cast a spell, so...
Okay.
Also, all that spell does is just not push somebody, so... Alright.
I was hoping to push him into a wall or something. Or into something in the alleyway or something along those lines.
So I will put you in the alleys. As sight. I'm just giving you sight beyond sight.
Okay.
Because when you start, you don't have any sight. Can you see yet?
Yeah, I could actually see from the start. Just as a...
Might be because I didn't set this one up to be...
a nighty map.
Yeah. Okay. So roll for initiative for me, please.
Okay. From the way you described it, I thought Birchwell was at the other end of the... But
No, I'm
okay,
setting it up
cool.
now. Because you jumped out the window. She jumped out the window and has hobbled a bit, and Birchwell's come out the door, which is just here. Alrighty.
It didn't add me to the...
It's because I hadn't set it up yet, because I didn't ask you to do it yet.
Alright.
I'll add it now, don't worry about it. I can just manually add it. It's only 2 characters. Murta, add Birchwell, add
Mystery woman.
So Murta got a 26. Birchwell got a 20. And he got... not very good because she's still recovering from having a twisted ankle. Okay, so Murta, it shall go first.
Cool. And she's running away from me.
Yes, so she currently has her back to you. I know
This is going
you,
to be
power
fun.
gamey. Yeah.
So I'm going to go straight for a charge at her back.
Mhm.
Rah.
Mhm.
And I'm going all in with everything I got.
Yeah.
Bomb. 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 So. Cool. I don't know what a defense is.
Yeah, I know. That's deliberate.
I know. That was more. I'm waiting for your responses.
Yep. So 2 of your hits miss the mark, but one of them hits and cuts into her side.
And that wouldn't have been the charge attack, so I don't need to roll an extra d6.
You do not.
Because it still doesn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Okay, so it's Butchwell's turn.
I'm going to mosey to here.
Mm-hmm. If you're casting spells at her, remember that you don't have Constantine, so you'd have a -4 to hit because she's in combat now. Unless you wanted to move into the combat as well. Just worth mentioning.
I thought spells didn't get the minus until...
No, they do.
Yes. Okay, I'll just move in then. Not sure if that's...
Yep, that's all good. That building has a bit of an eave
to it. I'll raise your window.
Yep, cool.
I'll boost the to hit.
Yep.
And I will go pew, pew.
So you cast your magical slices of wind coming out of your hands. They miss their mark but tear at her cloak. The top of the hood comes off, and you see the damage that Balasar did to the top of her head is still visible. Her head caved in. Glowing green eyes are all that remain for the top of her head. The back part of her head is entirely caved in still from the club that Balasar was brandishing at the time.
And for my last action thingy, I'm gonna pull out my sword.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay.
Don't you still have another quick action, Riker?
Yeah, you've got quick caster, haven't you? So you could essentially can either cast a spell or use your sword. It's entirely up to you which you use, because you can use either right now.
I'll do another Razor Wind,
okay.
But I'm not going to boost it because it'll run me a little too...
Well, you are the opposite of Colin. He's like, I'll boost attack and damage every single fucking time.
See, I have a feat point, so I'm going to do it because I got my new little fancy power that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I leveled up, so I'm going to boost it.
Yeah, man. I'd probably re-roll that to hit.
Re-roll.
Oh my god. So you fucking hit, and you get the feat point back that the feat point that you spent to re-roll. You get back because you got a crit. Okay. So she turns to you in her last moments before the magical blades of Gale slice through and shatter what remains of her torso after Murta's assassin's blade struck at her ribs. She crumples and falls to the ground. Oh, and you passed your test. Cool. Okay.
Murta grins and in charge it goes, nice one, mate.
And I'll chuckle in Shardic. I don't know what that sounds like, but
a bit like more glottal.
Yeah, a foul kiss.
So just gonna kind of kneel down to see if she's aware enough to question.
She is still what you would consider alive. The green light in her eyes still glowing.
You ain't getting away from us that easy. Now, what you doing to all these fine people?
You will soon find out. You'll soon know.
I'm going to lean closer to her and go, the Empire knows about you and doesn't care what I do to you.
The Empire. She's spitting and black ichor-like substance is coming out of her mouth. And she says, we care not what the Empire think.
Birchwell, I just want to fucking kill her. Have you got anything to ask her?
I don't know. To be honest, I was gonna do something pretty gnarly there. The old what we call the Shardic anchor, but I think that people in town would not approve. I don't know if there's anybody around, but
There's not. What's the Shardic anchor?
I'm just making this up. I don't know character, by the way. So in my head, we would tie her up and drag her through town while the person's bleeding out and kind of parading them around.
Oh, it's keel hauling.
Oh.
But on land.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's as he goes, Shardic anchor. I'll grin and go, if we had the time, aye.
I want to try and search her and see if she's paranoid about anything that I'm looking for, like trying to reach for something or.
Okay, go for a detection roll then, sir.
Rolling like crap.
Oh, you did a detection roll, sir. So, patting her down, you feel a corrosiveness about her that makes you think that you shouldn't spend too long touching her. You do find a shadowy-looking dagger.
I think that's going to be a yoink on that, unless you want to take it for your fancy assassin blade business.
We can always have a look at it back at the base.
That's good.
But anyway, we've got nothing more to do with you. You're not answering any questions, so I grab a nearby brick and just cave her skull in some more.
Okay. As you smash what remains of her skull in, the green light splutters, flares, momentarily dazzling your eyes, and a kind of sickly smell starts to ooze as she starts to crumple and effervesce and disappear into a puddly ooze.
At which point Murder then stops as he's watching, very satisfied with having got his own back against the thing he ran from. One of the things he ran from. He then stops for a moment, looks at Birchwell and goes, probably should have kept that for evidence, right?
Maybe a little bit.
Right. Back in the house and just check if anyone survived.
So going back up to the bedrooms, you find that there's the body of a woman dead in the bed.
Is there anything disheveled in the room? Like, does it look like they were looking for something after?
No.
No, they're just trying to kill people. Well, at least we got this one. Right. On to the next house then, Birchwell.
Yes, so we're too late for here, but for the next one.
Okay, so
and
we flash.
We ain't looting a Grey Lantern.
Okay, so you flash to the other team. Are you guys still here, or had you pieced out?
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
I have to. I kind of have to bounce. I gotta get set up for some stuff, and I have to eat dinner.
Yep, no worries. Okay, well, good seeing you.
Yeah.
Aye.
And it's actually at this point that I noticed that it's 20 past 10, so I'm having a break.
Okay.
Cool.
But then we will return with what you guys are doing.
Part 2.
Alrighty. Well, good seeing you, Riker. Catch you later.
How's it going, guys? I'll be back next weekend.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay.
Catch you next week.
So
Have a
we
good
will
one.
be taking an interlude now. It will be the maximum of 15 minutes, the minimum of whenever everybody's back and are okay playing again. At this point, I would like to remind you to like, follow, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. If you've got a spare couple of dollars and you enjoy what we're doing, consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little penny helps me to have more time to create more fun things. Links to that will be in the description. Anyway, back in some time. Hey.
I return. The only
Hello.
Hello, Colin. Yeah. Well, that was exciting.
I was going to say, that was fun. I'm impressed. Although strictly out of character, I think she might have been more help to us alive.
She was clearly not answering any questions, and Murder does not have the patience when he's got a job to do.
Oh, I meant manacling her up and chaining her to the wall and leaving her there. You know, keeping her alive so she can't go advise her employer or whatnot.
Yeah, again, don't have the time for that.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no way Murta would do something like that.
Yeah, particularly when there's other people to check on. And
Yes.
his newly formed alliance with the Grey Lanterns. Well, not newly formed alliance. His newly found loyalty to the Grey Lanterns is pretty damn like, must do the Grey Lantern thing. Loyal enough not to loot the body, but not necessarily loyal enough to care that they've died.
It's interesting to me that he actually gave away his Crixian origins to the enemy.
He doesn't give a shit. He thought it would be useful. They just went, nah, we don't care. Okay, smash.
Yes. But it's just funny, given how much he was trying to keep that hidden from the rest of us for so long. And it's like, whatever. May as well.
Yeah. Who they gonna fucking tell? Is part of the reasoning behind that. Also, they're not going to be intimidated by random dude on the street. The Empire being concerned, that might actually be intimidating.
Well, now we know they're not alive.
Yeah. We kind of knew that anyway.
Well, the Empire said that they weren't, or at least Murtaugh's contacts, but now the enemy just confirmed it.
Yeah. We don't care about the Empire. Cool. Smash.
Yeah.
Colin, you're a writer, right?
Aspiring, yes. What can I help you with?
I was just wondering if you've ever heard a writing term. Unreliable narrator?
Sorry, say that for me one more time.
Unreliable narrator?
Yes, of course. It's something that I employ often. We've had this conversation before.
Because I do
Is
it all the
stream
time.
Still running?
Yeah, of course it's
Yes, I
running.
know. Oh, wonderful.
Why? What had been said?
Okay, I'd like to have it said on record that Tom just stated that he uses the unreliable narrator all of the time.
Not all of the time, just a lot of the time.
All the time.
Just to double check, I think I understand the concept, but want to be sure. Unreliable narrator is the person who narrates the story isn't actually that knowledgeable about the story.
Or
No,
might
it
be
means
wrong.
You can't trust a thing they say.
Right. It's kind of one of the... I think it... Okay, what's the concept that I'm following, that I'm understanding, or is that it's just another form of the unreliable narrator?
Another form. There's
Right.
multiple ways you can use it, but basically, say you're watching a film from the POV of the main protagonist and they're narrating the beginning intro. What they're saying might not necessarily be actually what happened. It might,
Deadpool.
yes. So it's basically, is this person lying to you? You don't know. Does this person know the whole truth? Because they might think that right is rain, but it's actually the other way around. They're just wrong. There might be malicious intent. There might not. You don't know, and that's. I like to think that it's good storytelling to not have everybody always speak the truth all the time.
Absolutely. God, no. And not even just
Wait,
the
hang
villains.
Is there a single person in this game which has spoken the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, most
All here?
of them have spoken the truth.
Yeah, most of them. Most of the NPCs also are kind of irrelevant.
Yep.
So, it's like
Truth.
90% of the lines that Tom says are mostly, like, not exposition.
Well, it's like when
What's the
you world building, but it's
Yes.
like when you go, what's his name? And I'm like, oh god, his name is some body.
Forgettable NPC.
Yeah.
Mr. Forgettable NPC.
Nothing.
Because a lot of them, they don't need names. They're not important.
Yeah. I know
I'm sure
several.
they're
I know
very
several.
pertinent that you say that.
I know several DMs who just keep a list of like a random name generator next to them, and they'll just like roll the dice and pick the name off that.
Unfortunately, I'm streaming, so my computer can only show what I'm streaming. So, otherwise, I would flip to a random name generator, but that would mean the stream seeing me flicking between tabs, and I just can't be
No,
bothered.
I was more talking about like a written sheet next to them.
Oh right. No,
It's what I always do. It's like in my D&D setting, and the area my players were in before I couldn't really keep up with it anymore. I had a lot of Germanic names, so I just had like a male list, a female list, a neutral list, and then I had like a couple of racial names, like
people from out of
Halfling.
the area, or
like halfling names or dwarven names, because dwarves don't tend to have the same naming. Dwarven naming convention in the world I have tends to be much more cohesive across the world, because they've just got better ways of communicating between different dwarven enclaves.
okay.
So it's like it is. It's not one dwarven empire, but it's all like one kingdom. It's like
I get what you
it's a
mean.
bunch of closely.
Commonwealth?
Yes, that might be a better way of saying it. they're different kingdoms and stuff, and they associate with different lands, but they all share political ties and things.
Commonwealth sounds good then.
Oh, so a bit like the dwarfs in the Discworld. They're all separate, individual dwarfen
I've
mines.
not read enough of the Discworld to be able to say it properly.
So they all have their own communities and laws of their own mines and local cities, but they all pay allegiance to one centralised king and government as well.
I was more thinking maybe Warhammer Fantasy, where you have the High King.
I've got no idea, but
High King,
but
the
Discworld's head dwarf is actually called the Low King.
Well, yeah, because that's how Pratchett does things. I like Pratchett. Pratchett is great.
And because it's
Truckers, Diggers, and Wings was one of my favourite series of books when I was little.
Yeah, I loved it too.
In fact, Colin, that would be a great series to read to your little one when they're a little older.
I'd start with
send me the name.
It's Truckers, Diggers, and Wings. It's pretty standard stuff, dude. I would also recommend Carpet People.
Carpet People was fabulous. Oh, it's weird.
It's just skipping every other syllable now. So.
Right. Okay. Truckers, Diggers, and Wings, and Carpet People, Colin.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll chase you up on that later.
Yeah.
I read them when I was a wee baby.
Why don't you use your phone for random name generation?
Because I use my phone for Twitch chat.
Ah, okay.
Not that anybody ever speaks in it, but you know.
Hey, we had people speak in it a couple of weeks ago.
It's primarily pretty empty.
I know. We mostly get people watch afterwards.
Prove me wrong, Twitch chat. I'm waiting.
I would have found it very amusing if you'd immediately got like 50 messages then.
Of everybody going, we're just so engrossed in your amazing cohesive narrative, like God, that we're just so busy. Oh, what? Somebody just said, what?
Never a retcon.
Yep. No. It's I don't. Wow, wee wow. Wee wow. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I came and hear some chat. So yeah, no, I was chatting shit about chat, not actually watching, and then get proven wrong. I salute you, sir, or madam, or none of the above.
Hello.
Yep. I think that's very much a very good example of chat shit, get hit.
Do we have David back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alrighty, so David and Adele, you guys were also checking up on the list of widows, orphans, and veterans.
I imagine we were going to Adele's personal widow first.
Yes, his favourite widow.
I don't like how you're phrasing that, either one of you.
Well, I don't know, man.
I assure you, Murta has a much worse way of saying it.
So, like I said last time, you guys had gone to the orphanage, found all the children butchered. You then started going to the widows and orphans that live outside of the orphanage, and I've been going down the list. So Murta and Riker, you guys, the first house you went to, you found the hooded lady having freshly murdered. I'm guessing that was a widow. Then we move on to Adele and Constantine, who are 3 houses deep now into their list. The last 3 houses have been sites of destruction and death. At each house you have found either a dead crippled war veteran or a widow. A sense of urgency fills your bones as you approach the 4th house.
We have to get in there quick.
Adele, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the connection has been dropping in and out. I didn't hear the last sentence you said. I heard something about a widow.
Hey, a pattern is emerging. We have to get in there quickly.
I said you feel a sense of urgency as you approach the 4th house, because you've just found 3 dead widows, orphans, or whatchamacallits. You guys discuss what you're going to do. I just need to quickly grab something. I'll be back in 1 second.
I think we've got to get there as quickly as possible.
Yes, I agree. When Tom gets back, I'm going to ask him if the wounds look as if they're bladed.
Oh my god. One of the screws has fallen out of my glass. The most annoying thing.
One of your screws has fallen out your what?
Glasses.
Oh, that's annoying.
So what's the plan then?
Right, so we're going to get there as quickly as possible, and Adele wants to know, were the wounds on the bodies that we've already found bladed?
Yes, they were.
Do I need to do an intellect roll to compare them to the memory of the tri-headed figure back in the caves?
Sorry, I'm not understanding what you're asking for.
Does it look like it was caused by the claws or whatever the 3-headed monster was wielding back in the cave?
You think that it's possible, yes. 1 second, sorry.
Okay, so how's Adele going to react?
Come on,
Well, Captain, I suggest that we pick up the pace.
Absolutely, with you there. Like old times.
Yes. Unfortunately, not long enough.
Useless cat. Sorry about that. My cat was out for the night because it's like nearly 11 o'clock here, and and she just started banging at the door to come in, but then didn't actually come in because, you know, she's a cat. Anyway, so yes, you think it's very possible that the people butchered were killed by the blades of the 3-headed necromantic monstrosity from the caves.
That we're going to call Gervin now on.
Okay, you are now referring to that thing as Gervin.
That was the name.
Yep.
Voice.
Yep, fair enough.
Okay, so
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so we're going to run to this house where this Adele's favourite lives. What do we see?
So for this one, the door is shut.
Okay, going to start knocking on the door.
No answer.
Knock louder.
Still no answer.
Okay, going to look at Adele and ask if he wants me to knock the door down.
In Lealese, Adele says, before we do all this, assuming we see a trifecta face, I take it that I shouldn't ask to learn from it a second time.
If we see Gervin, I think it's best we don't engage, to be honest.
Sounds like a plan.
Just to answer your question, Waveway, this is a kind of steampunk setting, so lots of the weapons are medieval-ish, but there is also guns, and one of the main features is these automatons called warjacks, which are 12-foot tall bipedal steam-powered robots with roughly the intelligence of dogs that can be controlled by people. They're pretty cool. Also, things like undead are a thing. Well, it's not set in our world, but so yes. So you're gonna go in the house.
Is there a back door or windows or anything like that before we knock down the door?
Not that you can remember, no.
Okay. I'm just going to put my shoulder to the door then and try and drive it off. Right.
Okay, simple strength roll then.
Simple strength roll.
Yes, please.
Not that strong arm.
So the door shudders at your shoulder but does not break.
Okay. Shall I give it another go?
Yep, give it another
Adele
go.
casts bleed on the door if this fails.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for that for you, or?
Yeah, please. If I could just boost damage on it.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I know I can't actually drain the resin from it. At least I hope I can't, but I know that it does do a damage attack, so I'm hoping to damage the door.
Yeah. Right, I'm just pulling up your character sheet, dude.
Cheers.
Because I know your computer is trash. So you just want to boost damage. Bleed. And roll. Okay, so you do some damage to the door with your spell.
Captain, would you care to try again?
He already has. He's rolled again. So the
Same roll.
no, your second roll would have been after he cast bleed. So the door weakened by the magic before it splinters and caves in, and you tumble into the sitting room of this abode.
Is there anything untoward in the sitting room other than the fact that we've just taken the door off its hinges?
Not that you can see, no.
Okay. I think, Adele, you should probably call out this woman's name.
Alan, do you remember quite how to pronounce the woman's husband's name? It was Ventry something, I believe, but I don't remember your exact pronunciation.
Oh god, that's me having to go back and find the name.
It's Ventry de Albemarle.
Thank you.
Right.
You guys have got better memories than me.
I was literally like, you're asking me, I'm useless at names.
I'm like, dude, it's a good thing I'm only the GM. 'Cause
Madam Ventre, whatever. I can't pronounce the name. Adele yells it out loudly.
Yeah. You get no answer.
Is there a back room that Adele can go into?
There's her bedroom.
That will do.
So, ascending the stairs, you feel a sense of dread.
I'm gonna sneak.
Okay. Oh, that's a pretty good sneak. Yep, so you're sneaking. You then need to tell me what you want to do.
Listen near the keyhole. I guess. Look through the keyhole. If there's a door or something.
There is a door and there is a keyhole. So you want to look for it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so looking...
Adele isn't Murtaugh.
Yeah. So looking through the keyhole, you see what you're calling Gervin looming over a bed. You hear voices through the door as you hear what you know to be Raleigh's voice saying, "Don't make me do it, not another one. Please, I'll do anything." And then you hear Gervin's voice saying, "Submit!"
At this point, Adele is going to bang on the door and open it up and say, "Ah, Riley, so good to see you again, old fellow. How are you doing?"
The three-headed undead monstrosity snaps around and turns to the door, and you hear a wailing scream noise as it begins to move towards you. Roll initiative.
Thought we weren't going to
Fly, you fools!
engage it.
Hey, it's one of the few people that Adele actually cares about. I can totally see why he would be like, I'm going to interrupt this.
Yeah, actually, this is Constantine's fault. Constantine about doing the moral and right thing and, self-sacrifice and...
You made a point of asking.
Yeah, well... Sorry, I misspelled your name. Wave while they can't see the chat, because I am streaming from the GM point of view. There's a lot of information that is visible on my screen that the players shouldn't have access to, so they don't get to watch the stream. And we will call it... Alright, sorry, I didn't know if you knew. Alrighty, so Adele, you got 19 initiative. Constantine got 21 initiative, and he got 23. Okay. So we will put them in descending order. And what I'm going to do, just for simplicity, is, because I don't actually have a map of this area, so what I'm going to do is Constantine, Adele, and the mystery creature who's bigger than you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this building here. Oh, you're a player yourself.
Constantine's still downstairs.
Yes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this building up here as the upstairs and this building down here as the downstairs. Okay? So the bit over here is the stairwell that will lead to here, and then the rest of this is the room that they're in. Okay? And I'm going to use the hooded woman as Raleigh's friend who's in the bed. Okay?
Right.
Okay, so...
I have to say, you're improvising very well, Tom. Just as an aside.
What do you mean?
I'm being positive about your improvisation with the maps.
Oh, right, sorry.
Good job. Good job, Gran.
Wavewell, I did not make the maps. I found them on Google, I believe it's called. So, the three-headed triumvirate nonsense. Its head snapped round to look at Adele with pure fury on it. Well, it can't look at you because there's a door in the way, because you just shouted through the keyhole, didn't you?
Yes.
So, seeing as there's a door in the way, the necromantic creature, you can see through. Are you still looking through the keyhole?
No. Having yelled that and banged on the door, I would have stepped back so
Okay.
he can't smash the door open in my face.
Okay, so as you step back, green fire blooms as the door implodes outwards. So the door has been smashed outwards with green fire. Make an agility roll.
Okay.
You narrowly avoid the fire. It is now Constantine's turn.
Okay, so I guess I've heard this.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, you don't even need to roll for that. You would have heard it. It's a great big fireball, just blew out a doorway up just above your head, essentially.
Okay, can I draw weapons?
Yep.
Okay, so hand cannon in my left hand, sword in my right hand, and then...
Your right hand is your favoured hand, yes?
No, I'm left-handed.
Okay, so you'll have if you use your sword, you'll have a minus to hit.
Probably won't use it.
Yep, just saying.
Okay, go upstairs, stand next to Deld.
Yep.
He's okay, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fine. He's just he might look a little bit shook. That depends on how he's role playing his character, really, as to whether he's phased or not. That is entirely up to you.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, it would probably be appropriate to have a willpower check from both of you at this point.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Okay. Used to teach called willpower. No word of a lie.
You just spoke for real life, don't you? I'm not sure I know what you mean, Wavewell. Right, so Constantine, you have failed your willpower roll.
Brilliant.
So you cannot advance any closer. Once you can get to the top of the stairs where you got. As soon as you had line of sight to see it, you can't move closer to it anymore.
Use a feat point to re-roll that.
I'm not sure. I will just check. I'll just check for you. Feat points, general rule, spending 221. Sorry about this. I should know this better, but...
Right, I should know.
Spending feat points. Yes, you can re-roll a willpower roll.
Brilliant. I'm going to do that then.
Mm-hmm.
I had attempted to say, but I forgot I was muted.
Yep, no worries.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you can... Yep, okay, you've passed it. So you quickly steel your nerve and swallow down your fear as you look upon the necromantic monstrosity in front of you.
And then I'm going to shout, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Pulling out the classics, you shout at it.
Yeah.
Its head snaps around and spins around once, and then one of the faces locks and looks at you. You hear Riley's voice scream, "Run!" and then it snaps back round again to the head that you've known as come to identify as Gervin, and you get the sense that it might be a grin as it goes, "Now watch, little brother. Watch as you kill them."
Oh, this is fun. Right, so I guess I'm just going to fire then.
Okay. So shooty shoot.
Shoot.
Okay. You miss. Your bullet seems to completely phase through the being as it seems insubstantive to your gunfire.
Okay. That's it. No, I haven't got a free action left.
No, you have completely finished.
Okay.
So it is now Adele's turn.
Adele is going to cast Bleed with boost to hit and boost to damage.
Yep.
At the trifecta face, because apparently talking just doesn't work in.
Are you doing this from where you stood?
Sorry?
Are you staying where you are, or are you moving first?
No, I'm going to attack first, and I'm going to move after I attack, potentially.
Okay, cool. So you hadn't cast any, so I'm going into your sheet. So you hadn't cast anything this turn yet, have you?
Nope, this
Right.
is going to be...
Yeah, you were on 3 fatigue is all, so I've dropped it down. So I'm going to do your fatigue for you and roll... Oh, sorry, I rolled the wrong one.
Appreciate it.
My bad. Yes, Wavewire, you can hear one of our players as a child. That's what you can hear in the background. So your spell seems to fail to hit its target. You're sure that you put enough of your arcane might into your accuracy, but it somehow does not find its target.
Going to drop Ashen Cloud between it and us.
Yep.
And see if I can grab the captain and run.
That's too many actions.
Yeah. Okay, then I will just drop Ashen Cloud and make a break for it.
You will only be able to walk. You can't run because you've already done 2.
Oh,
actions.
I'm sorry. When I say run, I mean leave.
Yep. Okay.
As in walk to the.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. But you've put Ashen Cloud in the way, and I'm just going to bump you up to the appropriate level of magic fatigue. Cool.
Which
sorted. 4.
6, I think.
No, it's 4.
4. Okay.
You don't get to boost damage if you... Oh, you should be on 5, actually, sorry, because you tried to boost a hit, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have had the opportunity to boost damage because you didn't hit.
Okay. Cheers.
Alrighty, there we go. So, Wavewire, this isn't D&D, this is a game called Iron Kingdoms. We're not currently looking for any players, I'm sorry to tell you. Yes, so you want to walk downstairs?
Yes, please.
Okay, you are now downstairs. So it is now the necromantic construction's turn. Constantine, you hear through the cloud. You can see a flash of green light, and then Raleigh screaming, "No!" And then Gervin, you hear him saying, "Watch, brother, watch as the life fades from her. And it's now your turn.
What would Constantine do? That is very good.
Oh,
She's
there will be killing, Wavewell. There will be killing. You highly suspect that she's dead, but you can't be sure.
Well, Adele's already bugged out.
He really has.
And given that he just put a huge attack value into him and did nothing, and I shot him and did nothing.
Yep.
I don't think this is a battle we can win today.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm going to bug out as well. Discretion is the better part of valor.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm so glad I wasn't there to meta gain that.
Alright, so you go downstairs and one would presume grab Adele and go out the front door.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place you in the alleyway, because we'll say that the downstairs was underneath this upstairs and then the front door is here. So as you leave the building, you hear a noise upstairs and a window cracks, and you look up to see the tri-faced thing at the window looking down at you, a kind of sneering look on the skull face that's looking down upon you. And you hear, "See you soon." And then it spins round to the skull face that looks aghast. And you hear Riley's voice say to you, "You must stop him. I can't hold on much longer." And then the thing spins round back to the other face. "Silence, brother!" And then it steps away from the window into the darkness.
Brilliant.
Captain, if I may suggest, maybe we should rename ourselves from the Grey Lanterns to, I don't know, the Green Candlesticks?
White Lantern. I don't know. Like, that thing, it's beyond my comprehension right now. Let's rendezvous with the other.
Yes, we should definitely check on the other widows. I'm afraid that I think should we find the officer's daughter, she will have, well, lost both her parents.
I feel like we already know what's happened to everyone.
Yes, but if there's a chance that even one of them may be alive, then we have to take that chance and try and retrieve them.
Absolutely. Let's keep going.
So you continue down the list of widows, orphans and veterans that Abram supplied you with, and at each house you are greeted with a sight of carnage, as each of them have been butchered in different ways, seemingly without any successful defence. Some of the veterans appear to have died while holding weapons, no doubt that they kept from their time after serving in the Grey Lanterns. You find you find no survivors among the list.
Another thought that crosses my mind. People have seen us go into each house. It's possible that we are now marked men.
We need to go to the watch and tell them what's happened.
Okay. So you're going to the closest watch house.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as it happens, you're on Captain's Island, and it's the same one that you went to last time. So,
the watch house that we went to where they like us?
yes, it is Captain's Prow district that you're currently in.
Oh, does that mean we have Juck again?
Yes, Jock is your favourite watchman.
So we're going to walk in, and I'm going to turn to Juck and say, "Is your captain upstairs?"
Yes, he's upstairs.
Right, we're going to see him, and then just walk past him, breeze past him.
He just goes back to playing with something on the table. You're not sure what he's looking at.
It's a marble.
Oh, that was easy, sir. I was expecting that I'd have to distract him.
Well, he's a sandwich sort of a picnic, shall we say. Okay, so we go in, rap on the door of the captain.
Yep. He says, "Enter!"
And then walk in and say...
He says, "Oh, I assume Juck is busy again."
Marbles, I believe.
Marbles, fantastic.
Captain Sawyer.
Constantine, it's been a while.
Well, yes. Fortunately, it's not been an uneventful time since we last met.
Fill me in. What can I do for you?
I'm going to put the list of names down on the desk in front of him and say, all of the people on this list, and I'm suspecting all of the people on the other list that we don't have with us have died this evening, or last night, and this morning, and also the orphanage has been ransacked.
Right.
So I think we should back up a little. Died is a little weak of a word. Murdered. Brutally. Horrifically. Slaughtered. Children, widows, veterans.
All of them dead.
Every single one.
And do you have any idea who did this?
The same thing that did...
Because I'll be honest, this looks like... It looks like some sort of ledger to do with your own company. It looks to be a list of financial obligations.
It is, and believe me, I know exactly how it looks.
Yes. It doesn't look good. So, what do you say has caused all of this tragedy?
It was exactly the same thing that caused the tragedy under the docks, if you remember.
Oh, I remember. We sent some good men in. We found the corpses that you mentioned that were down on the right. I went in myself and saw them. Butchered. Hacked to pieces for body parts used as spare parts, he says with disgust on his face. And then we found the thralls. I had the entire tunnel system lined with explosives and collapsed, lest they come again.
That might be what's driven them to the surface, then.
You say that they have attacked again?
We went to visit...
They have killed my brother officers' widows. They were my brothers in arms, Captain. We fought together at the battle that saw the decimation and destruction of our company. It is our duty to provide for them, and we were doing so. Our brothers, men we fought and bled beside, men who sacrificed themselves for us. And their families have been cut down. It is an outrage. And I take offense at the insinuation that anyone might think that we would bring harm to them.
Well, you have to realise that I have to do my job. And what is often the simplest solution is often the correct one.
Comes razor.
So you can
Then
see.
why would we have come here and told you rather than just fleeing to the mainland?
Well, in my line of work, you'll often find that very intelligent, evil men want to show how clever they are.
The only intention that I have is finding the truth and looking after people.
I sense that your intentions are pure. Sorry.
Sorry, go on.
No, I couldn't hear you because you were cutting in and out.
Saying, believe me when I say this, all I'm interested in is proving that my intentions are pure, and that is why we came to as soon as we could. And then I'm going to detail everything that's gone on.
Okay.
We've also got, remember, we've got Abrams as a witness.
Yeah, that's brilliant. He says, well, I'll take you at your word, especially given the good services that you've done. I'm going to... May I have that list?
It's the only copy we've got, but yes, Phil, of course.
Well, would you wish afterwards to have it back or to have a copy made? I need to dispatch deputies immediately
Go ahead.
to search these homes.
A copy, yes. After all, we need to pay tribute to our fallen families. And our good captain may only wish to prove the purity of his intent, but I seek justice. The one who did this, I wish them destroyed. How can we place ourselves at your disposal towards that end?
Well, if it is as you say, and that some undead construct with powers beyond your own did this, then we must proceed carefully and in number and individually check each of these houses and take from inside them the bodies of the dead, and then I would imagine the best course of action would be to consult with the clergy and have them check.
It is funny you should say that. We recently spoke to a church, and they pointed us towards the Order of Illumination. Do you think that it is time that we summoned them?
Well, typically they deal with infernalists and hunting witches, but in this case I think that they might be worth speaking to about this.
Just to check, Tom.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're coming back round to me anyway, but obviously we managed to chase someone down. Did I? You'll come back to me. Actually, sorry for interrupting. Don't worry about it.
No. What did you want to say?
No, it was basically I was going to say while they're doing that, it's basically Murder and Birchwell would be going around the rest of the list, and anyone they found, they'd basically be trying to get to go to a safe place, and the safest place they can think of is their own base.
Oh, they're all
that's
dead.
Probably where. Oh, they're all... Seriously?
Yes.
Jesus.
Every single one of them.
Cool. Great. Never mind. I thought maybe because we'd caught her. Never mind. Oh well.
All of the widows and veterans dead.
All on the lists, yes.
Paper.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Bloody double entry bookkeeping.
while Captain Sawyer's organising his troops or anything, can we go and look in on Abrams?
Yep. So that's back at base.
Yeah, I assume that Murtaugh's going to meet us back at base anyway.
Well, when he gets to the end of his list, I imagine that would be where you would go.
Yep, that would.
Because there's nothing else.
Would be it.
Are we going to take one of the watch deputies or someone with us so he can have a word with Abrams?
One of them refuses to leave your sight.
Excellent. Fantastic. Please come with us.
And he does.
So we all arrive. We have a watch deputy. We have an Abrams.
Yep.
How's April doing?
So, 1 second, I'm just going to find him. Because he has a token.
Yep.
And he's been put to bed in Adele's room.
Adele's old room, remember? He sleeps upstairs.
No, he says he sleeps upstairs.
Adele does sleep upstairs.
Yep. So, lying in the bed, you find Abrams. He is conscious. He is in the same state as he was before, injured but stable, and missing his lower limbs because that's how he's always been.
Adele tells Mograt to make some soup for our guests.
Mograt goes,
Instructions to
right away, boss, and runs out into the forge.
Murder's going to report back to the captain that
The grim news.
They're all dead.
the grim news that me and Birchwell managed to at least catch the killer, and then I've not noticed the watchman yet because I kind of like start spewing it as soon as I get through the blah blah blah, fuckers killed everyone. Ah! Kind of like he's obviously very upset and irate.
Yep.
I went, and at the end he goes, we got the pitch though, we got her, and then she melted again.
So the one that you killed before and then killed again, and on both occasions she's melted away.
Yeah.
See her again.
No. This time the green lights went out.
The green lights went out last time as well, by the way.
Yeah, Murder wasn't there to see it, so he
Oh,
just
yeah,
assumed
yeah.
that they didn't.
Right, okay. Makes
I've
sense.
still got to turn up again.
And then he sees the watch guy, and goes, "Oh hi, where'd he come from?"
The watchman's just stood off to one side. He nods his head curtly at you. Doesn't say anything.
Adele leads the watchman to Abrams and says, he's been injured, so do try to keep your questions less than distressing.
So, rather than be a weirdo that talks to myself, I'm just going to tell you what transpires because I don't really want to to do two NPCs talking to themselves at this time of night. So he politely questions Abrams about the validity of your story, which gets confirmed, and the emotion on Abrams and the fear in his face really sell it. The watchman is writing this down.
Cool. Once I realise why he's here and everything, I kind of get the other part of the ledger out and go, you probably need this bit of ledger as well, mate. Although I've checked them all and they're all dead. I don't really know what you can do, but if you can do anything, there you go.
Alrighty. So he takes it from you with a thanks, and continues talking to Abrams and writing down details.
Adele leads Murtar out towards the forge, beckoning to him. And if Murtar follows him...
Yeah, there to follow you. He doesn't ignore everything you do or say.
No, just most of it. Adele says to him...
Mm-hmm.
Adele says to him...
Adele says to him...
On the bombers.
Adele says to him...
I think he might have crashed.
No! He was the chosen one!
There we go.
Bring balance to the force, not destroy it!
Did any of what I said actually go through? Because it went dead silent.
No.
Not
It
a
says
bean.
Of course it did.
It was Adele says, and then we were going, Adele says.
Each of us.
Oh, wonderful.
So what did you say? I'm guessing it was eloquent and posh.
It was very eloquent. It was the most eloquent thing I've ever delivered.
Impressive.
So I will endeavour to...
Most impressive.
I will endeavour to reconstruct it. Murtagh, it appears that we are the last of the Grey Lanterns. Our little encounter with Triface suggested that everything that Riley knew and loved is being systematically destroyed. So, I suggested to the captain that maybe we rename ourselves to the Green Candlesticks. He suggested the White Lanterns. So, if you've got a name, I suggest you put it in the hat now, and maybe that idiot of a monstrosity won't realise that we're because no longer Grey Lanterns no longer exist, so maybe we'll be safe potentially. It's a thought.
How about the smashing that Iron Git's fucking face in and breaking him to fucking pieces for being a murdering cunt pack? That's a good company
We
name,
tried
right?
that. Yes, we tried that, and you know what happened? Nothing. It went straight through him. It's as if whatever your worst profanity is wasn't even there. It was like shooting through the mist.
It was.
Did you try stabbing it?
That's your job.
Right. You know that there's stuff that is like very good at making it look like it's in a different place at a distance.
Well, did you really think that the two of us were just going to be able to overcome this thing when all of us together in the cave failed?
Jesus Christ, no! I wouldn't expect you to do that. I'd be wanting fucking Hodgepodge in on the job. But you know what? Hodgepodge is big and smashy, and I reckon that we can get him next time. I reckon we need to go hunting.
Yes.
And
where would you suggest we do that?
I don't know. He's probably going to come here at some point, and I will endeavour to not piss myself this time.
Yes. Anyway, the watch captain, Sawyer, I think his name was. It may be time to involve the Order of Illumination. I wanted to let you know first because you know what they're like with their burning flame things, like the captain, only worse.
No, actually, the Order of Illumination are a Morrowind order, and they don't really go in for the fire.
Some of them do.
Is making a metaphor because he's a Theramite, so I'm pretty sure they'd kill him.
Oh no, they probably would, and they might even actually burn him at the stake.
Exactly.
So my apologies.
Not like Morrowinds. But yes, in character. But yes, for those of us who are not watching, anyway, let's go.
Right. So yeah. Cool. So
Okay,
all that
well,
happened.
Yes. What happened with you? Did you find anyone interesting?
Yeah. The. Oh, I should have got a cape for you. Sorry.
He's got the incognito. He's banned capes at the moment.
Yeah, but it's not a cape; it's a cloak, so he could go incognito. So yeah, it's we killed her, and Birchwell found a knife. It looks nice. Probably need you or someone magic-y to have a look at it to see if it's any good, though.
Hold on, that could be evidence.
I look at him and go, "What? That she stabbed some people? We know who did it."
Yeah, but we've got to convince those guys that it wasn't us.
Well, perhaps I could inspect the knife and see if it's magic, and if it's not, then we could, surrender it with a clean conscience. If it is evil and magic-y and whatnot, we wouldn't want anyone being corrupted by it, now would we?
So Birchwell would be here, so he would hand over the knife for you to inspect.
Because we agreed that we'd all have a look. In fact, he tried to give it to me, and I was like,
Suspicious.
No, it was a, I think it should be a group decision who gets it, rather than Murta just going, "Yep, that's mine."
Yep.
So
We need to. I mean, it's the only bit of evidence we've got, so probably makes sense for us to.
they're talking to a witness.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to make a law roll. Actual law roll.
Yep. Okay.
Alright.
Is 13 enough to tell if the knife is magic or not?
You'll have to bear with me. You'll have to bear with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, law. I'm going to boost it. Because shonkiness.
Law. What are you trying to ascertain?
The legal ramifications of... Well, I'm trying to work out how much sway a witness would have, and whether a knife that they don't know who it came from, that is covered in blood, is going to be evidence for us or against us.
Could go either way. Especially seeing as you guys are the ones that have the knife, and there is no body from...
Yeah, I'm kind of going to point that out to the captain, that if you're thinking this is evidence that could exonerate us, it's really not.
It could just as easily incriminate you.
Yeah, let's what the conversation with Abrams yields first.
Yeah, so it's more a, there's a knife, then I think we should check it, and if it's useful, then maybe it will help us kill the fucking bastard. Was more my argument. Also, that was a crit, so wicked, I actually get it back.
Yep.
Neat.
Mine wasn't a crit, but I enjoyed mine.
I am the law. Fair enough.
You can edit all of those things, by the way.
I know. I'm just.
I don't know how.
I'm amused at how you do it.
Cool. What else are you guys doing? And Colin, I know I'm just looking, so don't ask.
Yep.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Yes, you would.
Just sitting here being patient.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's basically waiting on that conversation to end, seeing if our resident magic-y guy has any idea.
Okay, so the watch bloke has finished talking to Abrams now, and he says, "Do you mind if I have a look around?"
Go ahead, sir. Take all
Excuse me, why do you need to look around our base?
Because you are suspects.
And I look at it out and go, "Yep, standard procedure. We are suspects. Best thing to do is comply. Let them look, so they know that there isn't any fucking plans anywhere." And then I kind of pause for a second and go, "Yep." So they can tell that there isn't any plans anywhere.
Out of character, the door upstairs is completely locked. Isn't it?
Well,
Because
It
they'll
doesn't
let
have a
it
lock.
shut when
It
you-
doesn't have a lock.
Well,
There would be a secret
I
panel
thought it
to
had a
touch it,
puzzle
and
lock.
it has a puzzle lock, kind of. It's if you know where the board is depressed, you just press the board and it springs open.
Yep.
And
Okay.
that's the reason Murta paused, is because he was thinking, shit, do we tell them about the secret door? But he doesn't want to be the one to make that decision.
Absolutely not. They
Is that
take
the-
all of it.
What roll do I need to make? Intelligence to work out whether that benefits us or not? Or is that another law roll?
Up to you.
Up to you.
I am right. I can't really tell you what I'm thinking because you wouldn't know what Murder's thinking without him talking to you.
Oh, that was a crit.
You think it probably best not to tell him about the secret room?
Okay.
Okay.
So, I suggest we sit in the
Main room?
main room and just let him get on with it.
Yeah. Your thought is that you wouldn't even accompany him because accompanying him shows potentially more guilt, maybe.
Yeah.
Like going, what are you looking at?
Yeah,
what are you looking at?
So you just let him look unimpeded.
Yeah. I say to him, if you need any explanation of anything, give one of us a shout. I'm the company quartermaster, so financial shit is my deal. We are still only recently moved in, so we've not quite found everything around the place yet.
Very well worded. Okay. So he just nods and goes about his business, searching all the different rooms. Goes out back into the yard. He comes back about 10 minutes later and leans up against the wall by the main door and waits for the watch captain to arrive, who arrives about an hour or so later.
Out of character, I'm assuming since he didn't find Adele's, shall we say, pillaged Mechanica fist from the dead Mechanica thrall, Mograt did indeed finish digging the hole and covered it.
One would imagine.
Okay, good. I'm just double checking. Otherwise, I'm going to have to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, yeah, no. If you'd found that would genuinely have been a fucking... If he'd found it, by the way, that would have been a genuine fight.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have had to explain yourselves.
Oh, no, that wouldn't have been a fight between the officer and him.
Oh, right, because you didn't know he'd kept it.
Yeah.
Right.
None of us know he kept it, and considering my recent change of outlook...
Cool. Alrighty, so a little bit later, the watch captain turns up, and he says, "Right, lads, it's exactly as you described it. Each of them appears to have been butchered, either by some sort of a dagger that is incredibly sharp, or some sort of tearing claws. I can see that none of you have claws, so you're at least square for certain for at least more than half of them, much more than half, about 3/4. But we believe you enough to open the investigation and not pursue you as suspects at this time. But we do want you to stay in contact with us if you find anything.
We have been completely upfront with you, Captain, and as I have personally said, we place ourselves at your disposal in bringing down the perpetrator and seeing his head, or heads, shall we say, placed on gates around the city.
Well, we're gonna do what we can to look over this, all of the different scenes to see if these bastards have left anything that could lead us to them, but at the minute I'm unsure of what we can actually do. Like,
and it may interest you to know we came across another individual who was also taking away people and killing them in the sewers, and we dispatched him as well. nasty bit of business there with rats.
Right. When was this?
We don't know how long it's been going on, but yesterday we went to. There was a kid who'd been ill, who the captain helped, and we left him at the church of Morrow. His grandmother was not staying at the church, and when we went to go collect her because he hadn't heard from her, there was a blood trail into the sewers. The church can vouch for us.
He pinches his brow and says, "Where was this?"
Hospice.
Hospice Island. Thank you.
Okay, I don't really have the manpower to deal with every little thing on other islands, especially not Hospice Island. That's pretty much just being, unfortunately, left to itself.
Yes, but alibis. I'm sure the church will vouch for us. I mean, our clothes are in a terrible, terrible state.
Okay. I mean, I already said that I don't suspect you.
Yes, Adele. Don't worry, he's a bit addled.
Yes.
But
I got that joke. Anyway, we'll be in touch if we hear anything.
Do you want us to carry on investigating?
In your own way, if there's anything you can find, we need to hear it. So if you could,
if we can find the claws or
any motive,
one.
If you can think of any motive that why somebody would do this, do you have any enemies?
A few. There's
a big tri-faced, scary fucking monster thing.
there's the Kip Street Blades.
I don't think that a gang would be doing this sort of thing. It's a bit high profile.
Are you aware of the duel that I fought?
No. You fought a duel? They're illegal in the city.
And then we explained that it was all above board, and it was done on the mainland.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how I came into possession of the charter. But we think that the former owners of the charter may be behind this.
Oh, so your previous employer, Raleigh, is to blame for this?
Well, yes and no. And then
Captain, I feel that you're beating around the bush slightly. The brother of Raleigh was lost at Cricks, I believe, and he fell in with some bad lot from what we've learned, and he seems to want revenge on everything that Raleigh held dear, which unfortunately is us, and the widows and the veterans.
Right. So one would imagine that if he does indeed have some sort of vendetta against you, that he might actually come back.
I grin at him and go, "You seen the big thing out the back?"
Yes.
Yeah, I think that might help.
One would hope so. That's fairly
Although
substantive hardware you have.
Although these two are saying that they shot it and it passed through it, so that's fun.
Interesting.
Well, either way, I think we should take this to the next level. Perhaps with your testimony, or at least your recommendation, or whatever the word is, Captain. Maybe your word would hold some weight with the Illuminators. Look, I don't know what these people are called, but whoever can help with this.
Well, certainly, I think it falls within their mandate. So, yes, I believe that they might actually be a better bet for us to figure out what exactly is going on here.
Also, the daughter of one of the poor unfortunates who died today.
Poor unfortunate souls. Sorry. Went missing.
Yes.
He looks grim and says, "Is this at the same time as all the deaths? Because..."
No. Sometime earlier, I have been conducting a search for her. With her parents dead, her welfare falls to me. But she left upon hearing news of her father.
Oh, right. So she's been gone a while then. Has there been any investigation
Yes.
by the watch?
Only my private investigations. I spoke with one of your colleagues, but he demanded the outrageous fee of 25 gold before he would even consider helping.
Just GM mode. There was an investigation. They didn't find anything.
Yeah, which he said at the time.
Yeah. He snorts and goes, "Well, unfortunately, corruption is rife through the watch, and often a man won't stick his neck out unless well compensated. There's nothing I can do about that. If I speak out against him, that could lead to way more trouble than it's worth. I suggest that you just ignore the man and don't give him a penny."
Cool bean.
Do you have a description of her?
Well, perhaps your own men would just keep an eye out for her, especially near the docks. I mean, it's possible she's fallen into some sort of trouble.
Do you have a description?
Adele reaches into his satchel and pulls out. I think he had a picture of her that he made, or the mother made, or something, and the copy of that.
Okay, cool. So he tells you that the Order of Illumination are located on Dolph Island in the Cathedral District.
Okay.
Cathedral District.
Yep.
Order of Illumination.
Yep.
Ugh.
I know the pain, the suffering when a Menite has to go to Morrowind places.
It's not just that, it's the fact that if Adele sets foot in there...
Oh, it depends. If he casts any spells and any of them can read runes, yeah, he's fucked.
But he has shadow magic, so...
Yes, but they can still recognise certain things.
Yeah, they'd recognise the spell. They'd recognise the effects of a spell like bleed. But they would have to see you do it.
Yeah.
It's a shame none of us are Morrowind, really. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes, I know. I meant to have a chat with him earlier, but I didn't want to bog down the session. I meant to have I meant to take the priest aside and kind of have a chat with him after, like, royally fucking up, trying to help a child. It was meant to be like helping people, that's your bag, right?
Yeah.
I am newly invested in this idea. I would like to learn. He was legitimately going to have a chat with Father Thomas about the Morrowind faith and kind of like...
Well, he can do that another time, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, with only 15 minutes remaining, we won't be doing anything big from now. So, actually, if you could make a fizz roll, please, Constantine. Just Constantine, please. Okay, cool.
A?
Yep, cool. Brilliant. Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay, can we spend some time going through the information in Riley's study
Yeah, sure.
just to see if we can find anything else there.
Yep. So, in his various detailed notes, you find various thoughts back and forth. It's very scattered and kind of incoherent, but you manage to piece together the kind of idea that he had an awareness that Gervin was not dead, but he didn't know exact particulars of it. You got a sense that Raleigh was increasingly paranoid. He often writes that elements within the Grey Lanterns are conspiring against him to weaken his standing within the company. And he's written that it doesn't help that I've been avoiding combat, but all of the new recruits for the last few years seem to have been told different stories around the campfires than ring true for the veterans that are being slowly replaced.
So the stories about him being craven.
And stories such as the graveyards. That they should have been given a burial in the Thurian Rest. There's a section where it says, Grey Lanterns buried in Thurian Rest? ? Where does this rumour start? ?
Okay.
Coincidentally, while you're doing that, Murta is going through the ledger, kind of gets to through the ledgers for the company, gets to the part where he's got a 25 gold crown debt to the Widows and Orphan Funds.
Crosses it out neatly.
Yeah, just crosses it out and goes, unfortunate circumstances, currently under investigation by the Watch, maintain pension and widows and orphans accounts for any newly widowed, orphaned,
anyone that comes forth.
Yeah, anyone that comes forth. Abrams will remain in charge of that and receive a wage accordingly.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Adele waits to see if Mograt actually produces the soup and offers it to Abrams.
So eventually Mograt comes out of the forge room where Max also set up his alchemy stuff, and he comes out with a small bowl of a liquid. He says, I've got it. I got what you asked for.
This is the soup, Mograt, not the hair dye.
Yeah. I don't know hair dye.
Oh, okay, good.
I didn't know hair was
this
alive.
Is the soup. Oh, young Mograt, the things that you need to learn. One day I will teach you all about the 4 humours of the body.
Grief.
Okay.
I think Kedora medicine has revolved around beyond that.
Well, here's the soup you ordered.
Thank you. And Adele takes it to Abrams and offers it to him.
He takes the bowl from you trustingly and spoons a mouthful and then spits it out across the room. Why did you give me a bowl full of warm soap?
Oh, that was so much better than I was semi-expecting at that point, I will be honest.
I'm glad it's on push to talk because I was just cracking up. Mograt, Adele bellows.
He comes
Mograt!
to you and says, "Yes, boss."
Taste this.
What? Why would I taste soup? You can't eat soup, boss.
There's a difference between soap and soup.
What's
it may
soap?
only be one letter. Soap is what you should be washing your hands and face and body with.
Where did you get soap from?
I made it.
What did you make it from?
Things. He points towards the storeroom where the hides and carcasses of the dusk wolves are sitting.
All right, Mograt. I would like you to make this good fellow breakfast. Can you make him breakfast?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go and find Mac and go, did you teach the other fella to make soap?
No. He can make soap?
Apparently.
Weird.
Yeah.
That might be useful.
Yeah, it could be useful. Soap's quite expensive, isn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Don't buy it.
Based on the era, yeah, kind of.
It's not cheap.
Yeah. It's not expensive because it's like they've just started to industrialise, but it's not cheap.
Yeah.
It's like,
anyway.
Yeah, Murta's going to go and very politely go, if we keep bringing you... Well, not politely. He's going to go, if we keep bringing you shit, can you make more soap?
I could try.
Out of character, this is not a merchant simulation.
I'm not going to try and sell it. I'm just happy that we're going to be able to save some fucking money.
Yeah, I'm so quite happy that we've got access to soap.
If you're not trying to sell it, he can make you as much as you need.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell it. We already understand the rules around that. Don't worry.
Cool.
Might be selling some of the pistols in the armory at some point, but that's loot that you gave us.
And that is, well, you are allowed to sell loot that you gain. I don't restrict that.
Yeah, cool. Just making sure. Is there anything else us guys want to actually do before we end the session, or
should we play rock paper scissors?
Oh no! I'm going to teach you a Crixian game.
Does it involve murder?
No. Sometimes.
Foot the head.
No. He goes and gets some rocks from outside, since he's now found out that the rocks that we got aren't great for hitting people with. He gets some rocks. He ties string around it. He brings it back in and goes, right, this is a game called Knuckles. And he gives people like a string with a rock on it. And he goes, guess I should go first to teach people.
Dale takes one look at this and puts his head back around the door and says to Abram, so, Abrams, do you have any tales of the old days?
He bores the living shit out of you with tales of the old days. You feel too indebted to the poor old bastard to interrupt. You lose 2 hours of your life.
I figured that's how it was going to go, but
Yep.
it's better than having my knuckles broken.
I'm going to take one of the books that I bought today.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to my room and read.
So, are you reading the book about the border wars between Kador and Ord, or the book about the Orgriff?
The aftermath of the Orgoth occupation.
Okay, cool. That one will eventually gain you Lord Orgoth.
Cool.
Just letting you know.
So has everyone basically just gone, Nope, not learning that game.
Yep, seems so. Sorry.
Uh,
No, there's Balazar. I'm sure he'd be really.
Actually, yeah, Balasar walks over to you and goes, I ain't scared, I'll play your game.
awesome. So the way you do it is you spin it, and what you do is you hit it off each other's knuckles until someone drops it and they lose.
Sounds good.
Eh.
You go first, show me how it's done.
Ooh, whack.
The stone bounces off Balasar's knuckles, and he looks like he barely perceives it. He says, "My turn?"
Yeah. And I hold my hands out with the stone, with the string in the other hand.
So
I know this is an awful idea.
he swings it round as fast as he can, and whacks it down on your knuckles, causing you to yelp in pain. And Balasar goes, "Fun game. I like this."
Yeah, it's great. It's like and then he follows it with, I thought I saw some kids playing it like when I first got here, but they were hitting like fucking seeds. They look like seeds off of each other and waiting for one of them to break. What a stupid game.
I like Knuckles. Knuckles is a good game.
Knuckles is great. And then we spend time until Murta's busy going, oh, my hands hurt now.
Does this mean I win?
Yeah, you win. Well done, big guy.
Alrighty. So we are going to pretty much wrap it up here, guys. I'd just like to thank anybody who watched along. Thank anybody who's watching on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you all next week for a very special Lock and Load at Home edition. If you are liking us on the social medias, you will see that there's an event linked on my Facebook page, the Wargaming Luck Facebook page. There's an event. A bunch of different Privateer Press streamers are coming together for the weekend that Lock and Load should have been, but has been cancelled, to put on a show for you all. There will be painting, there will be IKRPG sessions, and there will be games played of, I think, Riot Quest, maybe some War Machine. I'm not too sure. Anyway, we'd love to see you there. Check out the details on Facebook. Thanks very much, and stay scared of spooky, three-headed, creepy things. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you next
Bye-bye.
time.